It is the 41st millennium. For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and master of a million worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass, writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day so that he may never truly die. To live in such times is to be one amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales of those times. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be relearned. Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for in the grim dark future there is only war. There is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter, and the laughter of thirsting gods. So, in this campaign, your story begins deep down in the darkness in a small corner of the Macarian sector, which is the map that you're currently looking at, in a place called Hive Rokarth, which is a towering edifice of plasteel, rockcrete, and unbridled misery. It rises from the surface of a planet called Vol, which we can see here. A crumbling spire of human defiance, persisting despite the inevitability of caustic annihilation by its own hostile planet. 30 billion people toil here daily in devotion to the Emperor and his Imperium. Now those lives risk being led astray by a purported miracle, one that could upend Rokarth's hierarchy and contain even more sinister threats. Your group has been sent to investigate. Inquisitor Halakarn has plucked you from obscurity, rescued you from the fate of everyday existence, and tasked you with investigating this unprecedented incident. Your Inquisitor is undoubtedly one of the most powerful entities in the sector, and they see something valuable in your existence. But you should fear them as much as you should fear your enemies. The Inquisition demands you operate with a deft hand and the utmost scrutiny. If you do your job right, no one should know you were even there. And so that brings us to not only the Macarian sector, but not only to Vol, but to Hive Rokarth. And so Hive Rokarth is what's called a hive city. It's a city that spans a large portion of the planet's surface. In this case, most hive cities are like the distance from Boston to Atlanta is like in both width and both along the x-axis and the y-axis. That's how big a hive city can be. At its peak, it could be as tall as Mount Everest. And inside of it are untold billions of people. The hive itself is composed of many layers. There are the bowels, which are sort of like basically the worst portion of the hive city. The absolute dregs of society live here. The conditions are caustic. Diseases are common. Then you have the lower tier, or the lower hive. And then you have the upper hive, and then the spire. The spire is where the richest, wealthiest, most powerful elites live. In the lower hive, you might have people toiling still, slightly better conditions than the bowels. This is where the majority of people live, but their day-to-day existence is not nice either. It's still unrelenting cruelty and working for a living, just hoping to eke out some meager existence. Upper hive, it's slightly better situation, but again, no picnic. Life is still horrible in comparison to modern day. Only when you get to the spire do you get people that are living some kind of fashionable or interesting lifestyle. But even then, it's only because of their own untold cruelty that they manage to find themselves in the spire of all places. Your group... sorry, let me just pull this information. Your group begins your adventure in the frugal rented quarters in a place called the Thaler Hostelry, which is located in the lower hives. You recently arrived at Hive Rokarth to recuperate from your last mission investigating administrative negligence. Your patron, Inquisitor Halakarn arranged boarding in Thaler Hostelry, a colossal but comparatively small habitation zone where roughly 20,000 citizens cling to survival. Your quarter consists of a Munitorum armored container filled with a set of dilapidated lockers laid sideways and filled with rags to create a set of bunks and a makeshift shrine to the Emperor, half composed of melted candle wax. You are well rested despite the perpetual noise of industry and the flickering lights. At this point, I want each of you to go around, describe your character, and explain what you're doing in your shared quarters currently. We're going to start with Bianca.
Oh, could I pass? Could I go
Sure.
last?
Okay, sure. You can go last. Let's go with Devin.
Okay. I am Cassium Calibus. I'm a tech priest of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and I devoutly serve a machine god called the Omnisci, which I believe lives in every machine. I think the flesh is weak and pitiful and shitty, and I want to replace it all with metal, which is more reliable. But I'm quite good at fixing the flesh. Just to prove how weak it is, I've gotten very good at knowing how it works. What I'm currently doing I'm not sure what I'm currently doing. We're just in a dorm, right? Kind of, sort of.
Essentially, yeah. In a small hostel.
So I think Cassium is arrived on this planet from from this mission the Inquisitor gave us. But before this, reading a little bit about my backstory, he was sorry to sneeze. He was caught looking at kind of not like heretical knowledge. He found he found a book of knowledge at a place he used to work, and just kind of dived deep into learning it, and found out that, oh wait, this is like heretical bullshit, and got grabbed by someone, and there was a whole thing, and the Adeptus, not the Adeptus, the Black Templars showed up and killed everybody there, but spared me because I'm a devout follower of the Emperor. But Cassium is still thinking about the stuff he found there, and he is working on like building little things to try to like figure out to get closer to the answer of like what that stuff was, see if he can reproduce it. So Cassium's kind of like by himself tinkering. And what he's tinkering on, it looks disgusting. It looks like it's alive but not alive, and it's definitely metal and flesh and a big storm.
All right. Next up, let's have JR. Why don't you go ahead and introduce your character and tell us what you're doing?
I am playing Sister Helza Scorn, part of the Adeptus Ministorum, also known as the Ecclesiarchy. Basically, just somebody who is a devout worshiper of the Emperor, fully believes in the Emperor's godhood and furthering the faith around to any people she finds. And she is probably pretty excited to be working for the Ordo Hereticus. She was part of a missionary group and saw firsthand some of the heresies that are in this galaxy. Pretty upsetting to her. So pretty excited to root out any heresy that she finds and do good work in the name of the Emperor. She would probably be just going over some prayers, getting ready to head out.
All right. Next up, let's have Steven. Why don't you go ahead and introduce your character?
Yep, 1 minute. Trying to find. Okay, there we go. The character's name is Kali Tenerin. She is a. Sorry, I lost my notes.
Okay.
She is was recruited to the Crotalus 63rd Regiment, one of among trillions who made up the Imperium's largest fighting force. Tallie's initial deployment was pretty fucked up. And yeah, she's kind of just sitting there lifting. She's lifting up furniture up and down, working the muscles.
All right. Let's have Matt go ahead and describe their character and tell us what they're currently doing, occupy themselves.
Sure, you have Prometheus. Wait for that motorcycle to pass. I have Prometheus, who is a psyker. He's basically he was born with a rare ability to harness the energies of the warp, turning it into devastating psychic powers. He originally was raised in a noble family, but was taken away from them to be raised in the secluded order of cave-dwelling unsanctioned psychers. Basically, he thought he was going to become this oracle, and still believes that he's going to be this oracle for the planet's nobility. Yeah, and then he ran into Harlequin, Inquisitor Harlequin. Inquisitor Harlequin had an eye on him because of his rare ability, and kind of just said, "You know what? I'm going to take you away from this order, and like put you working in the Adeptus Astro Telepathica, which is the faction which I'm currently in." So Prometheus, I would say he's probably in prayer. Well, he's probably doing incantations uh, in meditation right now. Maybe, yeah, in meditation, I would say.
Okay. Bianca, are you ready to introduce your character?
Yeah. I would. I'm gonna say, yeah. So my character is Eidolon. And he is serving and loyal to the Inquisition. With the covert guardians of the Imperium. And he's kind of like a bounty hunter. And is really good with like when it comes to kind of like logic and mechanics, and he's very detail oriented. And he's usually on like really like special missions and things like that. And I would say that Eidolon would probably be polishing his pistol and kind of like disassembling and reassembling it and looking at like his scopes and things like that, tucked away in a corner to himself.
A tinny fanfare of liturgical music blares from a small cherub held aloft by tiny angel wings. This is a mechanical cherub, a common sight all throughout the Imperium of Man, created to transfer messages and to share data with those that need to hear it. It flies through the ventilation shaft and circles your HAB unit, scanning each of you with its weeping augmetic eye. Scanning ends, and the hymn is momentarily interrupted by crackling static. The cherub drops a scroll case into the bunk of Sister Helza Scorn before flying off. This is what they look like. These little fucking freaks.
No.
Elza, how do you react to this cherub dropping off this?
I immediately, I drop into repose, I think, when this thing flies in. And I am sure it has brought us good news. I am excited to read this. Is everyone ready?
Yes. Let's do
You
it.
thing bring great tidings.
You notice that the scroll bears a strange seal, an icon of the Inquisition. Not too dissimilar from, but basically it's like an eye, capital I with a skull in the center of it. The inquisitorial seal symbolizes Halakarn's authority. And you know that it can allow you to trigger the limitless authority boon, which I will share with everybody now. It's been provided to let you keep track of who's currently in possession. So, Sister Helza, you are the one who is currently holding it. If you wish for somebody else to have it, you can definitely let me know. But what this allows you to do is, as it describes, your patron being an inquisitor, and inquisitors in the hierarchy of the Imperium of Man are one of the highest tiers. Like, they can tell a Space Marine what to do, no problem, no questions asked. If an inquisitor wants something done, only the highest echelons of power can tell an inquisitor to go fuck themselves. Theoretically, limitless authority over other factions of the Imperium. When you use your patron's influence, you may choose to use their influence with the Inquisition instead of your own faction. So let's say Devin, your character has a point of influence with Adeptus Mechanicus, which you can see on the main tab of your character sheet. I believe all of you have a faction that you're associated with.
Oh yeah, I got 1 point.
You got 1 point. That means if you're interacting with someone in your own faction, you get a +1 success level. Now, let's say you want to use this limitless authority thing, and you want to use it against someone who they're like a infractionist party. They're like a group of, like a gang group that they don't like you guys. You get -2 to speak to them. Well, instead, you could be like, well, guess what, buddy? I work for the fucking Inquisitor, Halakarn. If you don't let me do my job, I'm going to have them send an orbital strike into your house. Like, he has a influence of 2
Yeah,
with the Inquisition. So you get to use
'cause there's
his influence instead.
because there's so many worlds. Like there is always the option we're just going to destroy the entire planet
Yes.
if it comes to that.
There is
What a
something...
shitty universe to live
It's horrible. It's the worst universe to possibly live in. Yeah, there is something in this universe called Exterminatus, where they're like, oh, there's chaos in this planet. What do? Well, we can't get rid of it. We'll just destroy the whole planet. And so they just send all their ships out to orbit and they just bombard it. Or they drop diseases on the planet that like just eradicate everything. It's like a last resort, but it's a fairly common thing. But yeah, so your group has this authority. However, your group also knows that Halakarn brutally punishes any of his acolytes that reveal this rosette unless they can prove that it was essential for the operation, as it can alert enemies to the presence of the Inquisition and ruin an investigation. So, on my side, I will be keeping a record of every time your characters use your seal, the Inquisitorial seal, and this will be important at some point. Until then, that's how you guys interact with that. Helza, you look at
We were
this.
sent here with like no cover, right? Like we just showed up.
You just showed up. This place is gigantic. It's literally the size of like the eastern seaboard. So people probably don't know who the fuck you are or that you're even here. It doesn't matter. There's 30 billion people in this place. You're like an ant amongst a score of ants.
Like nothing among everything.
And so, Helza, you look at the scroll. It's encoded with a cipher that you know that your Inquisitor is known to use. So if you wish to try to read this scroll, I'll need you to make a challenging linguistics test. Or if you wish to hand it off to somebody else who's better at that, they can attempt it instead.
Yes, I forget which one of you is good at reading these things.
Definitely not me.
Suggestion: I could analyze a document.
Oh, nice. You're doing like an HK 47 thing?
If I feel like keeping doing it.
I love that. That's awesome.
Very well, but read it to us truthfully.
All right, so go ahead and make a challenging linguistics test. Steven, for your benefit, challenging is +0. That's like just a basic test.
45 in it, so I think it's okay.
Man.
If
Somebody
somebody
better at that than I am.
if somebody else is trained in linguistics, they can help you and give you advantage on the roll.
Damn it. Literature,
Trained-
my worst enemy.
Train just means you have an advance in it.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Question:
then
Is anybody good at linguistics?
Now, wait. Let me check.
I will help you interpret this.
Very cool. So go ahead, Devin. You can
Beginning
make that roll,
analysis.
and you can make it with with advantage by opening up the dialogue window and checking advantage.
Okay.
You got a +3.
Nice.
In this game, depending on the severity of the roll, it's a different kind of success level. Right. So really quickly, let me pull that up. You got a +3 on your check, which is you've exceeded expectations. So you decode the scroll, and 1 second. Okay. So by successfully decoding the scroll, and by getting a +3, you reveal the following information. Number 1. The acid refinery Delta 64 recently exploded under mysterious circumstances. There are multiple accounts of a single survivor. Number 2. Archdeacon Excavus Artisi of the Adeptus Ministorum has mounted an investigation into the possibility that this survivor is a potential saint. And finally, Helicarn commands that the characters commands your group to discover what happened at the acid refinery and the identity of the survivor. He will contact your group in 3 days for your report, and he expects results. There is one more piece of information that you managed to decode because you rolled so well. There is a particular vox frequency, and a vox in this case is kind of like a radio, like a radio that you can like tune to a whole bunch of different stations and contact people through. That will connect your characters to someone named Leo Wink Rants, and Wink is like his code name. He is a infractionist, meaning like a member of a gang, working for Helicarn, who can guide your group to the acid refinery and give you information on the local area. And I will post all this information into the chat.
Outcome successful. We must seek a Leo Rance.
So one thing I'll mention, all of your characters, if you look at your inventories, go to your equipment, most of you have something called a microbead or a vox bead.
Do we not all have that?
I believe you all should have one. These are designed to fit inside of your ear. They allow you to communicate with someone effortlessly and to hear others on the same channel. Their range is far beyond scouting, and they work in situations where shouting would call for dangerous attention. So they're basically like, like you're in that spy movie thing where you can whisper and you can hear your friends. They're that thing. They're essential for missions. It allows you to communicate with other users on the same channel within 1 mile. Though dense metallic obstructions and violent weather can lessen and disrupt their ability. Please make sure to look at your inventories, because some of you might have other equipment as well, like specialized equipment. For example, Eidolon has something called a Voxcaster. It's basically that exact same thing, but it can go over 100 miles instead of 1 mile.
I got fake eyes.
You have fake eyeballs.
Actually, only one. It's just augmented eye. I get a +1 SL to test with it.
And you gotta have a fake respiratory system too.
What? Can you
Well, work
buy
in
like fake
progress.
parts, or are you making them? Like, how did it get in your inventory?
Suggestion: we can have a conversation about that.
Yes.
All right,
The
so
Amosai will be pleased.
your group has this information. What do you decide to do with it?
Claims of a saint are great indeed. If it is true, I wish to meet the saint immediately.
This is a large planet with a lot of ground to cover. Starting with Leo Rance might be a good idea.
Do we currently know where this acid refinery is? Did Halikarn send us with this information? Or send that
You,
information with us?
hmm. Um, So it's less about necessarily knowing where something is and more about knowing how to get to where you're trying to go. Hive cities are built over the course of many thousands of years. The architects who begin construction die and are replaced with new ones. Layers upon layers of steel and destruction and reconstruction have led to these being almost insurmountable and impossible to navigate without prior knowledge. Your group is not from this place, and so you might know, generally speaking, where this place is, but how you get there would be very difficult. And considering your tight time frame of 3 days, it would be unwise to go searching on your own.
Why don't we look for a guide or something?
Yes, this Leo Rance sounds like it could be useful. The Emperor's will would guide us to this refinery eventually, but maybe we can get there quicker.
Yes, let's look for Leo.
We have his frequency. We don't even need to look for him.
Oh, never mind.
So one of your group who has a Voxcaster, you know you'll probably have the best chance of reaching this person. If you so choose, you can dial into that particular frequency and see if you can contact this person. We know Eidolon
Sure.
has one. Does anybody else have a
Yeah.
Voxcaster?
Could I could use mine.
All right. So do you want to dial this person in and see if you can contact them?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So you pull out your Voxcaster, this large sort of like almost like backpack sized piece of machinery, and you begin dialing through with the heavy rusted metallic dials trying to get this particular frequency. And you eventually do get some kind of clearance. The Vox cycles through the white noise and high-pitched squealing as the frequency dials in. You hear the whirring of industrial tools and voices shouting in the background. Angry voice answers and demands, "What do you want with Leo?"
We're trying to get um trying to get information. I'm sorry. My dogs are going off. I gotta take care of this.
All right, somebody else takes control of the Voxcaster and responds to this person. Who picks it up?
I want Matt to do it.
Yeah, Matt hasn't spoken at all.
Do it, Matt. Come on. Prometheus, come on.
Matt,
Would you guys quiet down? I'm trying to meditate here.
Enough meditation. Your skills are needed.
you hear the voices again. Is this thing on? I said, what do you
Ana-
want with Leo?
Analysis: time is of the essence.
Eidolon does have a dog and it's barking.
It's a tiny robot dog.
Yes.
Rough, rough, rough.
It doesn't even bark. It's just static.
We need him
Hush.
to guide us to the acid refinery.
Is that so, huh?
Yeah.
How much is he worth to you? You hear more shouting in the background of the call, and then you hear the person pull away from the microphone. Hey, keep it down, eh? Trying to work something out here.
He will do as he's told. So I suggest you put him on the line now.
I can't say I can do that. He's, disposed of.
He looks at everyone else. Is this what you bothered me for? My meditation is way more important than this call.
Hello? I'm waiting. Suppose I
He
could
gets
remove
up.
another toe in the meantime. Huh? Would you like that,
He
Leo?
drops the connector and continues to meditate.
We do not care what you remove from Leo. We have no interest in who he is personally, but we need to speak to him.
Oh, if that's the case, then you're gonna want to meet the guy. Sounds like, have you by the, how you say, balls.
Come on, stop breaking my balls. Come on, we got to get going.
Tell you what.
Question: what is he worth to you?
See, now, finally, someone who speaks a language I understand. Tell you what. I'm feeling generous today. You come to me with 2,000 solars. And I will give him to you.
Is that a lot out of character?
Solars are, it's a lot of money. I'm not sure how many solars you
Is
guys have. You guys do have money. It should be in your equipment. Solars is
if
money.
we combine all of ours, we should have enough. But can we?
Bro.
Is there any? Oh, never mind. Is there any way to bargain?
You talk to me. No, you're a character. You have skills and abilities. What do you do?
Let me take a look at my skills.
Yes,
Deal
2,000
untenable.
yes, 2,000 solars. You bring him, and we will bring the money.
No. I don't bring him to you. You come to me, my friend. You bring your money, and he is yours. You hear the voice in the background? Please help me. Shut up. I'm trying to work out a deal.
Query: what is your location?
You can find me in the chop shop. You sound like you are new here, so I will give you the directions you need.
The chop shop. Please forward directions now.
This guy sounds like Watto, and I'm worried that we're gonna find little baby Anakin Skywalker there.
We can save him. We get an amazing ally at a young age.
Mind tricks don't work on me. Only money.
Very well. I look forward to meeting you. And he begins to give your group enough instructions that you would need in order to find the location of this place called the Chop Shop. So there's one piece of information that I'll let you know. This character, Leo, being in, you've established that they are a informant to the Inquisitor. If this person's an informant to the Inquisitor, you know they could be very valuable, and worse yet, you know that it could be very compromising to have an informant for an Inquisitor under duress.
Like they might say something about the Inquisitor or something like that.
Exactly. And if they spill the wrong beans at the wrong time, it could potentially hinder your investigation.
I say we go and look for them. Go to the chop shop.
We should analyze the location of the chop shop. Figure out if there are other entrances, other exits, who might be there. That amount of money is an untenable answer. We must find another way.
Yes, I have no intention of paying them.
All right. So you guys tell me, what do you want to do here? You want to try to investigate the area? You want to try to maybe speak to some locals, learn what you can about this person on the phone, who I should say introduced themselves to you at the end of that conversation as Blister.
Blister?
Blister.
Lista. I say we investigate like the area to find any other entrances, like you guys were saying.
There are. I'm gonna just say something. I have no idea if it's a 40K thing at all. There may be a data terminal around here that I could tap into.
Oh, there are data terminals aplenty. So you guys can kind of tell me what it is you're looking for. Like, you're in a giant futuristic hive city that sucks. It sucks dick, but there's stuff here. So you just tell me what you're trying to do, and we can figure it out from there. So let's start with Cassium. Actually, it sounds like you're interested in looking at some kind of data terminal. What is it in particular that you're looking for?
Cassium, because he's very familiar with building things and like the order of the Adeptus Mechanicus, he kind of knows how it works in the sense where this is a huge fucking undertaking. They don't use AI, they use people, so they cut corners. Cassium wants to go into the data sets and data logs and just look at the blueprints for whatever the chop shop might be in the area he described and see if he can get a real lay of the land, like what kind of metals they use, what might be more corrosive or less corrosive, like really trying to understand the building at a level like only a tech priest really could.
Okay. Let's see. That sounds really cool. So that would probably be either engineering or logic, it sounds like.
Engineering sounds good for me.
All right, go ahead and make an engineering check.
Tech engineering.
All right. Yeah, with +1 success level, you
The
learn.
Cassian walks up to this terminal and like takes a plug with a kind of a long uh, needle on it and just shoves it into his eye and starts just interfacing with this machine.
Oh yeah, like uh, router sounds start coming out of the Voxcaster attached to your mouth as
Words are inefficient. Give me a second, please.
as you begin sort of like combing through all these various data sets, some several thousand years old at this point, and you find what appears to be an analysis of the metallic structures. And you find that the area that the chop shop is located in has had multiple collapsed structures inside of it, which make navigating it somewhat difficult. The chop shop itself, or the area known as the chop shop, was uh, a machinery, or what's the word I'm looking for? Like a place that has machines in it for some use, and that use was lost thousands of years ago, but the machines are still maintained and functional. But there have been collapsed pillars that has caused concrete and rubble to fall down in these areas, connecting from the third level all the way down to the sub level. But in this investigation, you'll learn that there is, in fact, a sub level with a network of tunnels that lead up to the main section where 2 elevators lead to the engineering floor of the chop shop itself. So going into whatever encounter you might have, you'll have +1 superiority, and you know that you have access to a sub-level that might be sort of off the beaten path if you needed to. What about other characters? What about, like, does anybody else have an idea of how they want to investigate this? Do they want to talk to people? Do they want to try to find out who Blister is? Anything that you guys can think of.
Is there a way that oh, you go first.
Oh, I would wanna tap into if I have any like resources for like gathering intel, kind of like other covert ops that might be in the area, and learn more about like who Leo is and why he's at the chop shop, and why and like what beef might be going on between Leo and Blister.
Okay. Let's see. So it sounds like you had 3 questions there. You had other ops that are going on. You had what kind of beef is going on between Leo and Blister, and what was the second question, the one in the middle?
Oh, I wanted to know like what Leo's affiliation with the Chop Shop is.
Gotcha.
Like what's he doing in there?
Gotcha.
And I guess like what's going on between him and Blister.
Well, how would you approach this? Because it sounds like you could do a number of different kind of skills that would fulfill this. You can use linguistics to try to talk to people. You could use, let's see what other ones you have. Maybe not presence. I guess you could use presence because that encompasses intimidation and leadership. Or as your character's knack for getting other people to do something that otherwise might not. No?
I was thinking maybe like logic. Like maybe I would have like a well of like resources because I'm also like, yeah, like probably like logic.
Okay.
Or, like,
So you're
do,
just
like, a
trying to
background check or something. Like
you're just
look at
trying to
archive.
analyze the situation. You're looking at archival. Okay, cool. Yeah, give me a logic test.
Yeah.
So yeah, based off of I'll say prior research that you've done into this area. You got a +3. That's really good. So with your logic test, you're combing through. So Eidolon, right? They're a specialist. They've done their fair share of research before coming to this place, and they know about a bunch of the different infractionist groups that exist within the Hive Rokarth. And so you know that Blister is a lieutenant of a gang called the Cutters. And the Cutters gang, I wish this was Cutters. Where was it? Here we go. Factions and power. Faction. The Cutters are a gang fascinated by all things technological, especially industrial machinery and its arcane products. The philosophically minded among the gang, and despite all outward appearances, there are some who view machinery as a means of reaching beyond human limitations. You know, they prefer weapons and tools to rather than giving. They prefer weapons, and it's kind of weirdly written. They prefer weapons and tools to giving themselves augmetics, which are like physical augmentations. However, as the latter is seen as a replacement to the human form rather than a means of stretching beyond its limits. To the average cutter, little could symbolize this apotheosis better than wielding a sharp blade or powerful firearm in the conduct of a crime than escaping in an agile vehicle. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the Adeptus Mechanicus tech priests of Rokarth are particularly interested in the Cutters. So this is some brief information that you know about them. Leo, being a lieutenant, which you picked up on, is a relatively high-ranking member of the Cutters.
You mean Blister's a member?
Blister, I'm sorry.
Not Leo?
Yeah. Leo is not a member of the Cutters at all. But you do know that Blister is another infractionist, meaning sort of not working with any of the governmental structure of the Hive, but he is an infractionist nonetheless, kind of works in the shadows. And Leo in particular, based off of some of your findings, had a bit of a falling out with the Cutters, where the Cutters felt like they were owed some kind of financial restitution. And so you think, if that's the case, they might be taking out this financial restitution on Leo at this point. How that would manifest, you don't really know. And so, because you gathered all this information on the cutters and who they are, you also learn sort of what their association is with the chop shop. The chop shop being this sort of old machine factory is of particular interest to them. You know that some of their members have been maintaining some of the machines in this place called the chop shop, which they have colloquially called the chop shop because they throw gang members and other unsavory types that mess with them inappropriately into the machinery, which chops them up into tiny little pieces.
Gotcha. So, like, during the call when Blister was yapping, he was probably preparing Leo to do something kind of along the lines of that.
Sure.
He was mentioning, like, the toes and the toenails.
Exactly. And maybe you even heard some of the sound of like this like harsh machinery in the background. Or like you were using your logic to put two and two together and like, oh, that's the sound of this kind of machine, and it's used to chop up things and blah blah blah. So you came up with the solution for that, and as such, with this particular information in mind, you would get a +2 to your superiority. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to do to try to investigate the cutters or the chop shop or anything else going on with that situation?
Yeah, Kali would like to kind of stealth and kind of just like eavesdrop around the area, see if she hears anything of interest.
Sure, go ahead and give me a stealth check. Actually, I have a great...
Is it with disadvantage or normal?
Just normal. It'll only be with disadvantage if I tell you. Okay, so you got a -0. This means that you rolled higher than your stealth value, but you didn't get any negatives. So this is a failure. If you like, you can spend a fortune point to add 1 success level to this. And that would make it a success.
And that's not burning one.
That's not burning one. That's just using it. And then just by spending it, it will return at the beginning of the next session.
Okay, I'll use one.
Very cool. So you can do this by right-clicking the test in the chat window and then hit Fate Add SL. And that should automatically spend a fate and increase the success levels by 1.
Right-clicking?
Right-clicking it, yes.
I don't have a mouse, so...
Oh, you have a computer. You have right-click on your...
You must have a right-click.
Depending on the computer, you might have to like...
Okay, what do I do? It's Fate Reroll test?
Fate Add SL.
Okay, I'll do it.
There you go. So that should automatically use a point of fate from your character sheet and now give you +1 success level. So with your success, you start... So you're scouting around. You know, you're keeping to the shadows. You're blending in. There's like 20,000 people in the immediate area that you're currently occupying, not too far off from the chop shop. And you're just trying to get a general feel for what's going on in the area, trying to listen into anything at all that might be helpful. And all this stuff is happening simultaneously with everybody else doing their own personal investigations. Just give me 1 second. This would be... Sure. You hear... I'll say you hear 2 separate things. The first one you hear is you just pick up on this through the sound of sort of commotion and riffraff. You hear someone say, "My grandmother says some nights are cursed. Those nights, the lights begin to act strange. They're meant to be dimmed for the night cycle, but I saw them light up buildings, transports, people. On those nights, you should stay indoors." And then that person just sort of trails off. And then the next thing you hear is public stores. You overhear, you catch part of a conversation. Public stores will be commandeered to make up for the shortfall. The only stores ruined were for the tithe. Mark my words, someone's up to no good, and in the end, we'll all pay the price.
Can you post both those?
Sure.
Yeah, I will relay that to everyone.
I got stuck typing commandeered. And I missed the rest of it.
You're like, how many E's is that? Okay, and then there's this.
Just definitely taking it back to the Warhammer campaign. Fucking notes.
All right. Anybody else have something that they would like to try? On once?
Actually, I do want to see something.
Sure.
You mentioned that there was a lot of like fallen concrete and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Is it possible that there was another entrance to the chop shop that might have been covered by rubble that I could spot?
Give me a navigation test. This is going to be a difficult test. So when you click navigation and you see that dialog window, there should be a difficulty drop down. Select difficult. And then you can perform the test.
What if? Ah, never mind.
With a -6,
No.
you know that a bunch of entrances have been pretty heavily damaged and fully obscured. There was a bit of a cave-in in those areas, but you do know that, and you hear some chatter that there are 2 elevators that have been cleared out and can lead to 2 separate sides of the chop shop. One is on the south side of the chop shop, and one is on the northern side. Both of these are fully functional.
Wow.
You found that out with an astounding failure.
Well, so he found out what is the obvious solution there. So that wasn't like specialized information. That's generally speaking what you guys would know when you approach the area. And I'm just telling it to him now as opposed to later.
I'm just assuming that Kali just face planted in front of the building.
You run into the building like, wow, that's 2 sides of this.
Wow, look at this building.
Wow.
Yeah, you do investigation and you crash into a wall and you realize you crashed into one of those like building maps that's like, here's an exit.
You are here.
Here's another exit. Then you see the 2 elevator signs.
Oh no, lines.
All right, so what does the group do?
Wait. Is it really a map?
It's like generally speaking where the 2 elevators are. That's all the information you got.
Where's the gift shop?
All right, so what does the group do in this situation? You know where the place is. You have a little bit of information. You know that there's a sub-level that you could enter in through if you so wish. You know it's 3 levels in total. You know on the main floor there's machinery that is used to chop up people. So you have a fair bit of information going into this. You feel mostly confident.
I do not care what. Oh, go ahead.
Knowing about the gang now, would Eidolon be able to use his where is it? I saw it.
The talent?
No. I am crazy. I thought that he was able to disguise himself or something.
That's how good he is at disguising it. You lost that talent. You can't even see it.
Yeah, it's a talent. Go to your talents tab.
Is that
secret identity?
Identity? I think so. I don't know. Let's see. You maintain a secret identity that allows you to appear to be a member of another faction. Would that include a gang?
I think so. Factions. It looks like factions are. You know what? Sure, why not? It's a disguise, a secret identity. So like maybe you spent some time ahead of time adopting a secret identity with the infractionists, or in this case specifically the cutters.
Yeah, I would like to disguise myself as one of the cutters.
So I'll say, so this one is going to be you. It'll take some time to create another secret identity because this is all with GM's permission. So for a few sessions, you won't be able to use this again. But we could say that ahead of time, you were like, I'm going to get in with some of these guild or some of these infractionist gangs. And I have created this persona with the cutters. You know how they dress, kind of know how they act, you know some of the slang they use, and you, when you encounter them, you will have +1 influence with that faction. But in order to maintain the masquerade, you need to use rapport deception tests when interacting with certain members.
Okay.
Very cool. So yeah, so you have a costume ready to go. You're just learning about the chop shop, but you know exactly where it is and how they look and act. And so you feel like if you needed to, you could go into that area and like strike up a conversation at the very least before things kind of got out of control.
Yeah.
So let me look at the map here just to make sure that nothing is obvious to you guys. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to activate the chop shop map here.
Oh boy.
So in this map, so this isn't the way the maps are. I created this. So I apologize if it's a little confusing, but I'll explain it. The orange level is the main level, right? Level chop shop level 1. It can be accessed by 2 separate elevators. Elevator on the north and an elevator on the south. There's also collapsed debris. And there's these large machines in the center of the room. There were other exits. Anywhere that you see that says exit, you can simply walk in and out of. There is a sub-level, which is blue. Those are a series of sort of waste tunnels that exist directly below the chop shop. And then there's also a level 2 up here, which is green. It consists of either walkways on this side, which are above the first level, or these rooms back here. He's not even over there. And there's an exit up here as well. These blue sort of ladder stair looking things, those are ways to go from one level to another. So let's say Eidolon is over here, and they're like, I want to go to this next level. They would spend a move action, bam, they're on the next level. If they want to go down, they would say, I want to go down. They use their move action, they go down to that level. And now they are technically in this zone, right? A zone is basically everywhere around you within a particular range is a zone. If you're trying to go, we're just going to play it loosey-goosey. So like, let's say, what's his name? Cassium?
Yes.
Wants to go to the center of the room. Sure, that's just a move action. But let's say he wants to go to the other side of the room. Well, he would have to go to the center of the room and then spend a run to get to the other zone, because it's all the way on the opposite side. Let's say he's over here and he's like, I want to go up here. That's already in your zone. So you just spend your movement to climb. And now you're in this zone up here. If there's a guy over, like let's say there's a guy like over here. Let's say Helga's over here. And Cassium's over here. And Cassium is like, I want to go over there and hit her in the face. They're in the same zone right now. So you just say, sure, go for it. You just do it. You get to them and you can do your attacks or whatever. There's no need to count individual movement. So again, we're going to play it a little loosey-goosey. It's not going to be exact. It's not going to be consistent. But the whole goal is to make it so that it is, it's just a little bit more abstract and a little bit more thematic and cool, right? A big room, you wouldn't be able to get all the way across without running. A small room, why would you need to count movement? You just walk up to someone and hit them with your sword. You have a sniper rifle, I don't care about how far away I am. As long as I can hit them, I can shoot them. As long as I can see them, I can shoot them. So that's the way that works. I think I lost track of tokens, but let's say I have 3 of you guys here. I have Prometheus is here, and I have who's the last guy? Callie. All right, so your group has the information that you need to approach the situation. You have 2 points of superiority, and you have an idea of the map. How do you wish to approach this situation? Do you want to come in through one of these sub-levels, through an exit, try to sneak your way in? You want to come in guns blazing through one of the elevators? You want to... You tell me.
I don't think it would be a good idea to go guns blazing at this point in time. Maybe we should go, I don't know, from one of the sub levels and sneak in.
Agreement. Result of analysis is that the sublevel is full of ancient machinery, likely underpopulated, not used by things too much. Maybe less of a presence coming from below.
Yes, what you said.
All right, how about the rest of the group?
I do not care how we enter, but this is an agent of the Inquisitor, and we will be removing him from this place by whatever means necessary. And knowing these types of people, I think it will be by force.
Further consideration. It's unknown what Leo may have said to them. Maybe worthwhile to destroy them too. They know much about the Inquisitor.
How does Prometheus feel about all this? He's being very quiet.
Meditating.
He's still meditating.
Yeah, Prometheus still meditating.
Is there anything you see, Psyker? Anything you feel?
We do what we must.
Is he meditating, or is Matt playing Rocket League?
Great knowledge from the Psyker, as usual of their kind.
Matt is engrossed in a thrilling game of Rocket League right now with the Emperor.
Doing battle against the Emperor, probably. Fucking heretic.
All right. So why don't you guys tell me what you want to do? Like, the world's your oyster.
With
I
my
think,
with my secret identity, would I know if the machinery, or like the area where Leo might be, would be on the main level, like where one of these guys are?
With your secret identity, you've kind of made inroads with the group, but you don't necessarily know information pertaining to this specific location.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. We should definitely start in the sub level then.
I like
Would
having.
you-
I think if you went first, because you're in disguise, it'd be kind of cool. Because you could like scout out a little bit ahead of us.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. If you guys want that, I could definitely go ahead.
I will say this game is definitely a game where it's, as long as you're playing it smart, you can split the party. You're not going to get necessarily into like a fight with monsters that are going to kick your ass. But obviously, anything can happen. So it's encouraged to split up sometimes if you need to.
Do you think we should be limiting the sounds we make? So maybe we should use melee weapons if we need to use weapons.
I don't think sounds will be a concern here. This is a chop shop. Like everything's going on. Like it's loud. Right? Yeah.
There is definitely ambient noise in here for sure.
Oh, so we can just use our guns. Okay.
And I know we talked briefly in the group chat about like not being murder hobos, but
I was thinking the same thing.
Like killing
It's probably okay.
like killing gang members is not gonna be on like anybody's radar in this world, right?
Absolutely not. They're
Yeah.
fucking like
Yeah.
you could kill
Yeah.
anybody and get away with it, probably.
Yeah.
But obviously, some situations are gonna be like, well, fuck. If I kill that guy, what if they just put a bullet in Leo's head? Now we're fucked.
Yeah.
Right?
Not Leo.
It's not like there's like repercussions, like we're worried about the police coming.
Yeah, we're not
checking
gonna get
out
arrested.
No
Dead
cops.
gang men. Yeah.
You're the cops.
You're in big trouble now. I'm gonna
Well, we're
put
the
you away for
secret
a long
police, right?
time.
We're
I
even
was
worse.
telling-
Yeah, we're even worse.
I was telling Matt, because Matt and I were having this conversation earlier, and actually I got this quote from a friend, because Matt was like, "Oh, it sounds kind of like Cyberpunk mixed with Dune," and I was like, "Yeah, well, the main difference though is that in Cyberpunk you're fighting the man, in Warhammer you are the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're not a rebel. You're just the system.
You're
Yeah.
the system."
And the system is righteous and glory
And it
driven.
deserves our loyalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's gonna give a fuck. Who cares? These guys are gonna die
Yeah.
tomorrow from some horrible disease or something.
That reminds me. We were just hanging around with a bunch of like 1,000 citizens. Do you have like COVID or something now?
Probably, but everyone
Probably.
everyone
Wow.
probably has
We
COVID
won't-
all the time anyway.
We won't
so-
survive long
I
enough
have
to
a
care
mask
about it.
on.
True, I do
Can't
too.
taste anything.
If anything, COVID probably makes you feel better than you
Yeah.
previously did.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
God! I don't need
you-
to taste my food anymore.
Yeah, you lose your sense of smell,
Oh, yeah,
which
that's
is
right.
great.
Food in this world is the main food is called corpse starch. Basically, the only
Yeah.
form of organic
Gross.
matter that people get access to is dead human corpses that are ground down into a fine starch, which is turned into like bread.
Don't
That's-
worry, it's got plenty of protein.
And
for the muscles.
Water is just like reclaimed piss. I think,
Basically,
right?
yeah, everything sucks, Nick. If you're lucky, you get a glass of whiskey, and it's like $45 a glass.
And it's warm. It's just like everything is gross.
Or if you're really lucky,
So-
you get to eat like a cooked bug.
So you're saying it is like New York City?
Basically, except,
Yeah.
except fewer bugs.
I mean, you would have to pay the same amount for a bug in New York City. Go to Dumbo, jeez.
Okay. All right,
Ooh, I
so
have an idea.
go ahead.
Since I'm in disguise, how about, and we could probably split the team, how about I go in through the main entrance and get intel to where Leo is,
Sure.
and then I could make my way down to sublevel 0, and then we could navigate together as a group to retrieve him.
That makes sense to me. How about the rest of the party?
Are there any cardboard boxes around?
Sure.
Perfect.
Might
Any?
be made of like sheet metal, but
How could I fit inside of it?
sure.
I see where
Perfect.
you're going.
No, John, the box is also made of corpses.
The box is also made of corpses.
Yeah, if you want to go up top, we could go from below and go up to like whatever entrance there is, and you can come and unlock it when it's ready for that to go. Because we can just talk to each other from any distance, right?
From like,
We're
from
definitely
like
close
a
enough.
mile,
Yeah.
yeah, but, which is basically as much distance as you need here.
I've
I
also
pick
got the
up the
100-mile
box.
thing, so even if it's like
Mhm.
a little bit longer, we're good.
And if you guys really want to go guns blazing, I believe JR's character has a megaphone.
Yeah, dude.
Can anybody hear me?
I hear muffling from the lower levels. Oh,
Yeah, they have a megaphone and a flamethrower.
oh my
I
god.
have a bunch of
dude.
frag grenades too.
All right, so yeah, so it sounds like that's at the start of a plan for sure. Like you guys kind of start on the sub level. Eidolon
Yeah.
goes up through one of the elevators, talks to some people, tries to get an idea of what's going on there, and then reports back to the group, either through a sub level or through some other means.
Yeah, if there's if the bottom floor is locked from going to the first floor, they could unlock it because they're inside when we get close enough to it. So I think we should probably head toward, go into the sublevel 0 and then head toward one of the entrances to go to the level 1. Whichever one Eidolon thinks is the best.
Sure.
from their vantage point.
Yeah, why don't you guys place your tokens kind of where you want to go?
Oh, we're on the map.
Yeah, if you're on the sublevel, just place yourself on anywhere. Don't have to worry about specific squares or anything like that. It could just be free form. And then Eidolon, you could place yourself in which one of the 2 elevators you want to come up from.
Let me over here.
Very cool.
Closest one.
Matt's still engrossed in his game of Rocket League, so he's like, wait, I gotta do this sick kick flip on this ball. Oh, so is Prometheus gonna go with Bianca up the elevator, Matt?
I would push him out the entrance. Like,
Wait.
out.
Actually, you know what? I might. Oh,
Tell me what
can
you
I
want to
go
do.
in the box? I might go in the box in the elevator.
That sounds good to me. It's a storage
Perfect.
elevator, so it makes sense.
oh, like a freight elevator.
Yeah, freight elevator. That's the word I'm looking for.
Nice.
Don't worry, I'm being stealthy.
Oh, cool. So you're hiding in a box. No need to roll. You're.
Why's there cigarette smoke coming out of that box?
Yeah. Why is there a raspy, silky voice coming out of that box?
Don't worry, it's just me, Solid Snake.
Why is David Hayter in that box? All right, so yeah, the rest of the group is navigating the sublevel, and like I keep forgetting your character's name. Cassium mentioned it is
Cass, baby, just Cass.
Cass. It's a dank, disgusting waste reclamation, not from people but from the machinery itself, and but it is empty, and you could hear the sounds of like the ambient machinery above you getting louder and louder as you approach the sort of central area of the ground. And even down here, you do seek to check out this area, you can see up and even catch some light from beneath the machinery, meaning if you were to turn the machinery off in some way, you might be able to climb up the shaft into the central area here if you wish. Would you continue making your way down the deep dank sublevel? And I'll turn on some factory ambiance. Meanwhile, the elevator. So the elevators in this world, there are no buttons on them. It's a person who's been basically hardwired to operate the elevator for the rest of eternity because they've committed some probably base crime,
They
like
shoplift.
like not going to
shoplifted.
work on time
They,
one day.
they jaywalked.
And so it's just a
And
person
And now you're the elevator
that you
forever.
just sort of like punch them, and then they operate the elevator in the way that you wish them to. So
Can I, instead of punching them, can I like caress them?
yeah,
Like,
what do you
very
do?
Flirty about it. I'm gonna be very flirty about it.
They
Just
they
like trace my finger down and then give it a little tap, like a jujitsu tap.
so this person doesn't have they're just machine from the waist down so that they can poop indefinitely without having to go to a bathroom. Their eyes are completely covered so they can't see. They have no mouth. It's just like the top part of their jaw, and they're just hardwired into the wall of this elevator. And so you tap them, and you hear like a faint groan, like a.
You're like floor 1 or floor 2 as you're poking.
The elevator doors open, and you hear the sound of the machinery in front of you. Actually, there's a description. The overwhelming sounds of industry outside of this room have faded to an almost tolerable level. So it's actually louder outside than it is in. As you've moved away from the hub of the hive, where the teeming masses live and work. However, the incessant shrieking of mechanical tools is still present, leading to what is undoubtedly the chop shop. It appears to be a dilapidated warehouse, moments away from crumbling to rust. Two rough-looking individuals stand on either side of a long, broken, rectangular hallway aside one of these large machines whose use and function has been long since lost to time. Inside, so that's what you see currently. You also hear off in the distance the familiar sounds of a circular saw, angry grunts, and pained screams reverberating around the metallic box from deeper within. what do you do?
I'm going to approach one of these two guys. I assume that I would know their names because I'm undercover.
Sure. Yeah, we'll say yeah, maybe you've heard of them. It really depends on. We'll say the outcome of that is how well any rolls are that you make. Like if you roll well, maybe you know them, and that's where that rapport comes from. If you roll poorly, maybe these are guys who've never really seen you before. But
Bianca, which way are you going? Are you going by the collapsed debris to get to them?
Yeah, probably like between the collapsed debris and the machinery, like just cutting straight across. I would be very like casual and normal about it, like I've been here before.
So while you're doing that, yeah, Kali is going to slowly move in the box on the other side of the machinery.
so what direction is
Slow.
Eidolon is going to go in this direction, and then Callie is going to like sneak up this way.
Yes, like slowly. It's like the shh, shh.
Oh, just like a box sliding across the ground.
Yep.
We're walking side by side.
Like this.
Yep.
I got it. I got
Yep.
you. All right. So while those two are moving, where's the rest of the group?
We're trying to head to, I guess, wherever the way up to the next floor is.
Sure. So you see that there is a maintenance shaft that leads from the sublevel here to level 1. You also know, based off of findings that you've had when you initially gave the investigation into the sublevel, there is another route all the way over here that leads up as well.
You feel at home here, Tech Priest.
These ancient
Yeah.
machines have existed for a very long time. Revelry. Revelry. A hard word to say.
Yes, it disgusts me.
I
Yes.
love it.
So your group is clambering your way through. Which of these two entrances would you like to be, or maintenance shafts would you like to be closer to?
I think I want to head to the further one. I feel like it's further in.
Yeah, you guys can plop yourselves over there if you wish, and then based off of what you hear on your Vox beads, you can choose to interact whenever you choose. But Eidolon.
Yeah, we'll let Eidolon know. Eidolon, you'll hear on your Vox caster or whatever. Analysis of the sublevel has begun, heading for the northern entrance to the level 1.
I'd like to imagine that like if my stealth is like if Eidolon's trying to be like very methodical with like how confident he is like navigating this area and that Vox, is that like a headset or is it because you mentioned it's like a backpack?
So there's the Vox caster, which is like a big backpack,
Yeah.
and that's what allows you to tune in to these
Oh.
very far away frequencies. Right? I think it's at 100 miles. The
Yeah.
Vox
So for these
bead
short frequencies.
is a tiny little bead that fits in your ear, and it's very difficult to see unless someone's looking for it.
Oh, okay, cool. I was in my brain, I was thinking it was the box, and like out of nowhere on speaker, it's like we're almost there. Like
We've infiltrated complete.
yeah, I'm just hearing this like
Shut the fuck
on
up.
full blast. I just like turn it off. I'm like, no.
All right, so why don't we take a 5-minute break? Actually, gotta go use the restroom, and then we will return. We'll make that 9:15 even.
Cool.
Gotta take a tactical piss.
I'm about to take a tactical ass piss right now. I am back.
Hello, I'm back.
I am back as well.
I'm back. Side note, I might be losing my job soon, so that's
Oh
fun.
no.
I mean, the DOE is being shut
Oh
down by
yeah,
Trump.
that's right. That sucks.
What the fuck is going to happen to education? Like, it made me more upset that like all the Democrats were just like waiting outside, go like, "You can't block the door. How dare you?
Oh my god.
Move out of the way!" Like they could have just like literally walked past the guy. Talking about sneaking in boxes. Is anyone else buying the Snake Eater remake?
No, I never played the original. I'm not sure if it would be my kind of game, but I did love Resident Evil. I'm not Resident Evil. Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yeah, I think you would like it because the memes in itself are. I mean, Kojima is hilarious, so you would like.
He's incredible.
I mean, you get to listen to a full, like 3-minute song while going up a ladder. It's beautiful.
I love all the memes of like people figuring out that he's straight. Because for the longest time, I was like, he's very clearly a gay man, right? And then it turns out, no, he's like married. He has a wife. His wife is never in the spotlight at all.
My wife, does he have a name?
I was like, wait,
I just called him wife.
He's straight? What? He's so smart.
Yes, quotation marks, straight.
He's always hanging out with Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid 5, like I couldn't get into the other ones. I watched a lot of, I watched more of the other ones, but 5 was so fun to play too, just as like a straight up video game.
I played a lot of it. I think at some point you get to like a second zone after like 10 hours or something, and I think I fell off after that because I was like, oh, it kind of feels like the same thing, but now I'm in a new zone.
It's mostly I play it for the weird moments of the fourth wall breaking. Like when you have the protagonist turn to you or a villain turn to you and go like, I know what video games you played before. And it just it's like, yes, Mario Sunshine. How dare you? Like, what?
Yeah, Metal Gear
That
Solid
was
was
the
awesome.
MGS2 thing, right? That was like
That was
Yeah,
MGS
that was
a
one.
fucking
revelation. Or PS1, yeah.
That was when
Yeah, that was
it would look
fucking
at
amazing.
it would look at your memory card and be like, ah, I see you've played Super Monkey Ball.
How cute. And you're like, what the fuck?
It's not one where like you have to take your controller out of one and put into the other,
Yeah.
and that's how you win.
That rocked. And I also loved because I mean you figure it out immediately, but like I always really liked that at the very beginning of the game, it's like, oh, if you look at the back of the CD case, there's a frequency that you can dial into if you need more information. And so your character has a CD case in their inventory, but it doesn't do anything. And then you realize they're talking about the actual CD case the game came in.
Yep.
And you look at that, and the frequency, sure enough, is right on the back, and you dial it, and you contact the NPC. And as a kid, I thought, that's fucking awesome. Like, to this day, I've never seen a game do that.
I also love the fact that if you bother the NPCs too much by calling them, they will literally like lose their shit at you.
Yeah, the game. A lot of people have problems with MGS1. I really loved it when I was a kid. Like maybe it's frustrating now, but like
MGS2, right?
No,
MGS1 was like a totally different game.
I love both. No, MGS1. Well, you're talking about the Nintendo ones. I'm talking about MGS1 on the PlayStation 1.
Ah.
Because the
I'm thinking about the original
Nintendo,
Metal Gear Solid.
The ones on Nintendo are just Metal Gear. They're not Metal Gear Solid.
True.
Yeah, so those I've never played, but
like,
I hear those are also like interesting. A lot of odd mechanics.
Well, it's also like the fact that it's like doing tutorials like quickly press the triangle button, and then like Snake just turns to you, breaks the fourth wall, and just nods his head. He goes, "Yeah, do it." It's like, what the fuck?
This is silly.
I had the same like experience with MGS5 as you, John. Like I got to the second area, I'm like, I'm good. Because like in the very first area, or like the very first story thing, it's like you're crawling on the ground, and there's like a big whale made out of fire, and I was like, I'm not gonna give a shit about this story. But so I was like, I had more than enough fun like playing the actual game, and then I got to the second area, I'm like, I think I'm good. Like I had a lot of fun with this game.
Because I think it took you like 8 to 10 hours to get to that point. So I was like, you know what, I enjoyed this experience, but I don't have to see it through. Because it was fucking weird, for sure.
Well, it's also the, like, I love how, like, Raiden's, like, the most loved character now, but when, like, he first showed up in Sons of Liberty, like, he was, like, this little Twinkie, like, annoying kid, and you're
they hated him because you weren't Snake.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but then he becomes the most badass character ever.
He was awesome. And then they put him in Metal Gear Solid Revengeance, and that game fucks. That game is so awesome. I love that game.
He uses a fucking Metal Gear sword. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, you fight a senator. That's the final boss.
Where the whole the president in Sons of Liberty was a fucking
and in the final fight with the senator, he literally says "Make America Great Again" like 6 years before Trump said that.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Those games.
We're gonna get Metal Gear.
Hideo Kojima is literally psychic. Like I think he's so tuned in to what's going on in the world and what's going to happen. It's kind of scary.
Well, there was sometimes like in I think the fourth game where I was playing it, where I was like, okay, I need a break. Where it's like Snake is looking at a guy like shitting into a barrel, and then Snake's first instinct is to crawl inside the barrel as cover. I'm like, okay, this is just.
All right. Is everybody back? I don't have the little ready thing, but just sound off if you're ready.
Yep.
Ready.
Here.
Yep.
Here.
All right, cool. All right, so the people on the sublevel, they've moved over to the western side over here. The people up here on the elevator. Eidolon, you begin moving down the machinery on the left-hand side of the machinery. And Callie, you begin moving down along the right-hand side in your box. So you're kind of being stealthy and slow, which means that Eidolon is making a little bit more distance than you are, so we'll act with Eidolon first. Eidolon, the very first thing you notice is the sound of the heavy machinery, which is loud, but not too loud to completely obscure everything. I need you to give me 2 separate tests. One of them is a is an awareness test with sound. So if you have sound specialization or whatever it's called, specialization, or hearing, I should say, you can do that. And then I also want you to make one for sight, if you have that as well. Otherwise, you could just give me 2 awareness tests.
Where would I see the sight or hearing?
So if you had a specialization, so you see where under your ranged it says pistols? Like how there's like a little line that says ranged and then pistols under your skills.
Yes.
Okay, so that pistols is a specialization. If you have a
Okay, so if
specialization
I
under
had-
awareness, it would pop up underneath you. Like I think Devin's character
Gotcha.
has has awareness sight or something like that. So when he's
Yep.
looking at things, he's better at it than just general awareness.
Oh, okay, so I'll just do 2
Yep,
normal.
just give me 2 normal awareness checks. Right. So the +1, the very first thing that you catch is the sound of the conversation that these guys are having, right? And they have to kind of speak up over the sound and the machinery, so they're being decently loud about it. And the conversation that you pick up on is the following. This guy here, he says to the other guy, I wish there were more of us on this job. I haven't heard a peep from Nails, Vulture, or Lothos since they joined the Coven. It's like they just up and disappeared. The other guy says, not feeling tough enough, are you, Jaren? You should have more faith. But Blister and us 5 will be fine. You should join the Coven too, you know. They're our kind of people. Not just handing out coin to labor serfs. They say things will get better for everyone when the Emperor's Seraph comes. And that's when the first guy says, I'm not interested in all that shit. I just want coin in my pocket and a few more gun mods. You got to admit, our new benefactor is a bit strange. And that's sort of when the conversation cuts off there. Why don't you go ahead and give me another awareness test? You got another +1. You roll the exact same thing. Good job. All right. So you notice out of the corner of your eye movement in the walkways above. And with a +1, you see one person standing on watch. I'll also say you also notice the equipment that all these guys are wielding. They're all wielding auto guns, which are basically like rapid fire assault rifles. And they all have pistols and knives as well. Meanwhile, while you're moving forward, Callie, I need you to give me a stealth test. Make it a easy stealth test. On your character sheet.
Right.
I forget what stealth is called in this game. It's just called stealth. Perfect. So you would click stealth on the difficulty, select easy, and then make your check. Nice. With the +7, I'm going to say, like, you do that incredibly well. And I'm going to say you do it so well that you can actually move forward a little bit more than ending up in this zone if you wish to move yourself somewhere else. So basically, anywhere within this lane, you can move yourself to, except for climbing up one of these ladders. Where would you like to end up? Or would you like to go in
Can
another
I
direction
go
first?
all the way over here?
Sure. Yeah, you end up over here. You're a master of stealth. And you end up right beside this piece of machinery, and you hear sort of the end of that same tail end of that conversation that I just canted to Eidolon.
Right.
And then Eidolon, you begin moving forward, and about by the time you get to the end of that piece of machinery, that's when the two of these guys, they look over at you, and they see your outfit and they see your getup, and they kind of nod and they do a sign, a gang sign that is known to the Cutters. What do you do?
I'll go and I'll relay the gang sign back. And I believe in the first part of that dialogue that you gave me from before, I wanted to ask what this guy person number 2 is, like what his name was. He had a name.
His name is Jaren, but you didn't catch the other guy's name.
Darren. Yeah, I would say that, and I would go and I would do the gang sign. And as I'm walking towards them, because they see me walking, I'll I'll go and I'll say, "How are you holding up?" You said Jaren.
Yeah.
I go and I say, "How you holding up, Jaren?"
Give me a very easy. Actually, no. Just give me a easy deception check, and because you have the secret identity talent, I believe if you make that deception check, you can click on. Let me just check it for myself. What's the skill called exactly? Secret identity rapport deception. So you make a rapport test.
I'm
So-
not seeing rapport on
A
my
rapport is at the very bottom of your skills.
at the very yeah.
So go ahead and
Okay.
click report. Make it an easy test because you know this person's name. And we're going to add +1 success level at the end of it. You don't have to worry about adding that in. All right. You got a +2. You almost failed that one. You got a +2. He looks at you. He says, you know how it fucking is. Bunch of bullshit. We got that man upstairs that Blister's looking to work over. Apparently they showed up with a new fancy leg instead of paying us what Blister's owed. So, just taking it from him.
You shitting me?
Ah,
Well, man. Speaking of which, where is Blister? Haven't seen him around yet.
she's up in the chop room, up the ladder. And he points over there.
Ah.
You glance over in that direction and you can see another man sort of standing guard. He's not really paying attention. He's just sort of smoking a cigarette, and he's leaning up against the railing. He looks down and he throws a gang sign at the group of you before turning his attention back to the empty space in front of him.
While they're talking, can in my box like sneak behind them towards that ladder?
You're trying to That's going to be pretty difficult, I'm going to say. But if
Wait.
you wanted to,
Why is that corpse box moving?
that's going to be pretty difficult because you're out in the open. So unless, and you have this other person up here who's sort of like doing, like, basically you're going to need some kind of distraction to be able to do that.
And can Kali use the Vox bead to communicate with us?
Absolutely. You guys can all talk to each other freely.
Okay, so you're just gonna hear over the vox beat. I'm gonna need the distraction. Can anyone help?
Distraction possible from below. Machinery exposed. Can disable loudly.
Do it. Come on.
Cass will make his way over to. You said these machines like kind of poke down into the lower floor.
Yep.
I'd like to disable this one over here. Like
Sure.
head over there and disable it, and like have it kind of like whir to a halt, but like kind of destroy itself in whatever kind of subterfuge I'm doing. Like maybe
Okay.
get something like catastrophically caught in the gear so that it like kind of blows up.
Gotcha. All right. Sure. Yeah, your character heads over there. Takes a little bit of time while you're moving in that direction. You know, these guys are shooting the shit with Eidolon. I'm gonna say it's gonna take you one action and a move action to get there. And so that means, Eidolon, while you're having a conversation with these guys, they're shooting the shit with you. You have to try to maintain your composure, or you potentially lose this the secret identity you've forged, right? So I need you to sort of strike up a conversation. Tell me what you're talking to them about, you know, how you're talking to them, and depending on what you say, you have to make a another deception rapport check.
I'll go and I'll continue the conversation with Jaren about that guy that rolled in with the leg.
Mhm.
And
Yeah. All right.
I'll
So
be
yeah,
like, I'll go and I'll puff my chest after he talks about Blister and say, and who the fuck is this guy he thinks he is coming in with this leg? Who is he, by the way?
Give me another deception check. Make it another easy check.
Oh no.
Ooh, that's a large one.
100.
So that will be a impressive failure.
Can I reroll?
Impressive.
So at that point, I would say you would want to probably spend a fortune point to re-roll. Now you can do this by right-clicking the test and then clicking Fate Reroll Test.
Okay.
All right, a +2 plus an additional 1 for your secret identity. That makes it a +3. So they're talking to you like, these lower hivers. They think they're all hot shit once they get a bit of cash in their pocket. They come to Blister looking for a little coin, and then they think they can just walk off without paying their fair share. So this guy shows up with this fancy shiny leg. This, what's his name? Leo. That's it. He shows up with this fancy leg, strutting it around town, making a big show. What's he think is gonna happen? Stupid, I tell you. This guy nods. Yep. Stupid is.
These lower hivers, who the fuck do they think they are? They get a shiny piece of metal and they just come in here acting like they know what the fuck's up? He's gonna get his head ripped off. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, he's lucky we're not taking his head right now. Maybe she will. Who's to say? Who's to say? The friend says. And so you maintain your deception, and that's when Cal or Cass makes his way to the piece of machinery. You're beneath the machinery. You climb up like a small maintenance ladder to reach the sort of innards and the wiring and stuff like that. Go ahead and give me an engineering test.
Yeah.
And for you, this is a routine test. This is like a rudimentary, basic piece of machinery. So make that difficulty routine.
Okay.
A +5, impressive. The machine,
Vulnerability detected.
The machine does exactly what you want it to do. What do you want it to do?
Model number 353. Fatal issue with these machines. He will.
That's called a 404, not a 535.
Information outdated. Apologies. Cass will engineer. He knows if he hooks up one system to another system with this like loose wire, it'll like double back on itself and kind of push more and more power to the spinning mechanism. So it's going to kind of rip itself apart as it gets like pulls more and more power. So the lights will dim in here as more power is drawn in this machinery, and will eventually result in an explosion.
All right. So yeah,
Could I retcon one thing?
Sure.
Could I do it to this machine?
I don't know, because that wouldn't have taken all that time and distance to get there.
Okay.
Which means she wouldn't have had to do that.
I was hoping I could blow these guys up, but since I'm already here, I'll just do this one.
All right, cool. So you go over here, you fuck with that machine. I mean, that would probably fuck up Eidolon too. But
oh no.
So this piece of machinery, suddenly Eidolon, you see Eidolon and Callie, and even Helza and Prometheus. You see the lights begin to flicker as this piece of machinery begins drawing way too much power than it's capable of maintaining. And the sounding of the whirring gets louder and louder and louder. Go ahead.
I remembered what you said about the lights flickering earlier.
Oh, well. So the lights begin to flicker, the machines begin to sort of like rotate and spin. That draws the attention of everybody in the room, including one other person who is also standing on the walkway. And then she shouts down, "That damn thing's gonna blow!" And the two people that are chatting with you, they go, "Oh, shit." And the whole machinery just tears itself to pieces. The spinning pieces of the spinning shards of metal and debris fly out in all different directions. Eidolon, you're forced to sort of like take cover behind another piece of machinery to not get struck. Everybody else is okay and clear from the damage, but the piece of machinery has completely ripped itself asunder, and sparks and flames are beginning to shoot out of it unless it's shut off, and that causes these two guys to completely divert their attention and begin sort of like running in this direction to try to get this thing under control. Meanwhile, these two people up here on the walkway are also looking down. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, Callie's gonna start making their way in the box over to that ladder to get up.
Very cool.
Get
So
up
go
there.
ahead and give me a very easy stealth check. They're distracted, but that doesn't mean that you can't potentially draw some unwanted attention to yourself. A +1, you just barely make it. You begin scooting yourself over slowly but surely, and you make your way over to the ladder over here. I'll say this guy is also, he's looking over here at this point because he wants to get a really good view of the explosion that just happened.
Time to do some tactical recon.
And that's when you hear the sound of a
You hear a guard go, snake, snake.
No!
you hear the sound of the buzzsawing from the second level stop, and then you hear the sound of a rusty door opening, and a woman steps out. It's the same woman that you were speaking to on the phone earlier, and I actually forget what the accent was. Fuck, that was a good accent too.
Make a new one.
I'll make a new one. She says, "Hey,
Boy.
oh, what the fuck? The fuck is this? Hey,
The
I'm
fuck is this
trying to
shit?
fucking cut this guy's fucking leg off, this motherfucker Leo, and now I hear machines going haywire." So she shouts out, "What the fuck is going on?" This guy over here is like, "When the machines blew up, boss, we're taking care of it." "Yeah, you better fucking take care of it. Trying to do some business, motherfucker." And then she walks back into the room.
Not the
Attitude.
pizzeria owner.
That was the worst mafia accent.
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, I'm in the mafia.
There's a pizzeria owner there. I love it.
I wasn't trying for mafia. I was trying like a housewife of New Jersey.
So it's perfect then.
Oh,
I
man.
gotta get some pizzas
Sounds like my
done
mom.
before the end of the day.
I will talk somewhere.
So do you want a calzone or something?
All right, so there's a big distraction going on over here. People are completely diverting their attention to the piece of machinery. What does the rest of the group do?
I think that Kali's gonna say, I think we need to go in and take her out.
I probably glance over while I'm protecting myself and see the box get closer to the stairwell, and I'm going to, while everyone's distracted, kind of like power walk like to that way, like away
Sure.
from what's going on.
Yeah, like they're not really paying attention. You don't need to make a stealth check, because you're part of the crew according to them. What does Helza do?
I guess I'll just talk to everybody and ask them when is the time. I am ready to attack.
I assume I'd be making my way to this lower staircase to go, and if the entrance is locked or if that is obstructed in any way, I go and I open it up so that everyone down here can make their way up.
Sure. Yeah,
all the way up with us.
there's a rusty hatch that you turn the wheel on and you crank it open. And Helza, you see light from the level above you pour in, and the helping hand of Eidolon reaching down to you.
I got a plan. I'm going with this voice now because it's fun.
Hold on, really quickly. What is Prometheus doing? Is he still playing Rocket League?
Matt, are you really playing Rocket League this whole time?
Deep in meditation.
Oh, he gone.
Hits the
I
bomb.
don't think this motherfucker is playing Rocket League. He's engrossed.
The warp has taken his mind.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
these psychers.
He's communicating with the ruinous powers.
Yeah.
Trapped in the warp.
We must purge Prometheus from this group.
Probably should have risen to 55%.
That would be bad. You want to keep Prometheus close.
All right, so what is Prometheus up to?
Following sister.
All right, cool. We're following Sister Helza. So the two of you are heading up to the first level now.
Yeah, staying in this like little hallway. I think though, not.
Sure. Yeah, so you're out of sight. You're ducked in this like rusty corner, Yeah, you both can
Yeah.
place
We can go
yourselves
up from
there.
here, right? We can go up here and then up here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But we're
Yeah.
going turn by turn right now. So let's see. Guys are figuring their shit out. They're doing whatever. I want let's throw a potential little bit of a wrench in here. Let's have Matt roll a D100, and you want to roll low. Ah, you rolled high. You want to use a fate point for that?
Please.
Yes.
All right. So go ahead. So you can't re-roll this with a fate point because it's just a regular D100 roll. So just spend a fate point on your character sheet and then roll another D100. Or you can roll the D100 first and then spend it afterwards. It's fine. Ah, an 11. There you go.
Much better.
All right. So instead of going to in your direction to fetch some machinery, I'm going to say this person instead just comes downstairs. Now they're on this level. And they're walking back here to fetch a piece of fetch some equipment that they can use to hopefully repair this piece of machine. And so
I got it.
Prometheus makes his way up the ladder. Eidolon is here at the base of the ground. By the way, really quickly, is anybody holding a weapon at this point?
Yes, I had my rifle like slightly poking out of the box.
Okay, cool. So on your character sheet, if you are equipping a weapon, you should see go to your equipment, and you should see your weapons at the very top. You should see 2 hand icons. Just whatever weapons you have equipped, click the hand icons. If it's a 2-handed weapon like a rifle, you click one hand, it'll equip it on both. I believe everybody is probably right-handed in this game. You can set that, but for now, let's just stick with right-handed. If
I'm
you're equipping it
ambidextrous.
in your main hand, you click the right hand icon, and that hand would be white. If you have a weapon in your offhand, you click the left hand icon, and that icon will appear red. This is important because if you're making an attack with an offhand weapon, you get a penalty. And if you're trying to make an attack with both weapons simultaneously, you can, but you get another penalty on top of that as well. I believe most of you have 2 weapons minimum, like a pistol and a knife, or a pistol and a flamethrower, or something like that. So just keep that in mind.
I got a plan.
All right, what's your plan? You made your way up the stairs. What do you do?
So, why don't one of you guys open the door stealthily and I sneak in and just shoot her in the back of the head?
What kind of weapon do you have?
I have a laser gun.
A what?
A las gun? It's a rifle or something.
Yeah, it's like a rapid fire laser rifle.
I have a las pistol, but
Can
my keeps reading as la pistol, so it's a French pistol.
Wait,
La
can-
pièce.
are we able to like swap weapons or share weapons?
You could if you wanted to.
Would I'd like to say I would make my way like up the stairs to be to be beside her, and I'm going to go and say, "Shh, this is much quieter." And I go and I'll slip the silenced auto pistol into the box.
Thanks.
I don't know how to physically give the pistol.
I gave
via
him the
character
pistol.
sheet.
I'm gonna say he only has access to the ammo that you gave him in the pistols, which is 3. And equipment. I'm gonna unequip it on your character. So just remember that your character doesn't have that pistol with them right now.
That's fine. Could I like put a knife in my hand instead?
Sure. Yeah, you just equip your knife in either a main hand or your offhand, whichever you prefer.
Nice. Okay.
All right, so it looks like the group is
Okay.
heading up the stairs. So those
Hey,
two.
hey, John, real quick for this, are we have a +2 proficiency or what is it called?
Superiority.
Spread? Is that playing a new account here?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Once you guys engage these people in combat in some way, that's when the superiority will kick in. I guess in chatting as well. I should have mentioned that. But
When switching weapons, does that take an action?
no, Does it? I
In
don't know. Whatever.
in
That's fine.
combat, mid combat.
I don't think so.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Combat.
Okay.
Let's see. Actions. Actions you can
Don't
take.
see it in there.
I don't see switch weapons, so let's just.
So I can just switch them. I just do a quick switch while I'm fighting if I want to.
Oh, battle.
I think you only get one attack though, so I'm actually not sure.
You only get to make the one attack. Yeah, so you can't like shoot a
But
gun.
in between next turn, I can use a different weapon.
Yeah, sure, why not? Until we
Okay,
figure out
cool.
otherwise, sure.
Does
Okay.
anyone want to help me open the door?
I'll help.
Thanks.
All right, what's Cass doing at this point?
Chewing. Hold on. Cass is making his way back to. He's pretty far away, so
This is chewing.
much as Cass is just gonna chew on the machinery. I'm gonna head back to where everybody was and get as far up as I can. I'm not sure how far I can go with this movement.
Sure. I'll say you get up to where everybody else is at.
Distraction achieved. Helza. Machinery can be useful, despite what you may think.
I never claimed it couldn't, just that it disgusts me.
All right, so it looks like
Acceptable.
you guys are gonna try to sneakily open up this door. Now remember, when this door opened up previously, I mentioned that it was a rusty door, and so you heard the sound of this rusty door sort of like creaking open. How do you want to
oil
approach
it?
this?
Does anyone have WD-40?
Yeah.
Request. Catch. Cass will try to throw some WD-40 out.
Yes.
Whatever a lubricant equivalent.
So I'm gonna need someone to make an engineering check on this door.
Come up here and help us.
I mean, how far can I get on my turn?
I'm gonna say you were probably moving when everybody else was moving, because I kind of skipped over you. So you were there, and now you're where you are. You spend your move to move up here, and now you're in this zone, so you can interact with everything in that zone. And for
Okay,
simplicity's sake, I'll say the zone, it covers like everything. And
Time to oil up the door.
Okay, I guess I'll make the check.
all right. So the first thing I need you to do is make a stealth check. It's gonna be a routine check because of the added sounds and everything that's going out there. And this is to prevent someone from hearing you interact with this door with your following engineering check.
Do
A
I
routine
smell
check?
WD-40?
A routine check.
Oh yeah, but every time you're around Cass, you smell WD-40.
+4. All right. Now this is going to be opposed by their. So this is an opposed.
Back to
check.
Warhammer opposed checks.
And really
They
quickly,
just hear the
rules.
shh.
I think it's a skill thing. So let me go to skills, and then let me go to stealth. I think it's opposed by awareness. That would make sense. So I'm just going to stick with that. Awareness, 40. And
That sounds like WD.
there's a door between them and you, so I'll make it a difficult check. They got a -2, so they don't notice that you're approaching. So you get to the door and you begin trying to oil up the door. Go ahead and give me an engineering check.
Is anybody helping me do this?
Yeah, if somebody wants to spend their action to help you, I'll say they help you.
How about you, Matt?
Sure.
Thank you.
What a guy. All right.
Is it a challenging test?
This is a routine test.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, +3. You successfully oiled the door. So now I'm going to throw a little bit of a wrench in here again. I need Bianca. Go ahead and roll a D100 for me.
Okey-doke.
You want to roll low.
Oh, I already used a point. We just started.
That's high.
Use another point.
How many of these do I got?
You got up to 3. So you want to well, you can't right click that one because it was a regular roll. But do you want to spend another one of your point? You have 2 points that you could spend to reroll.
And
For
spending
the whole
resets.
campaign or like once a day?
No, once a
It's the
day.
session.
Once a session.
Yeah, we're not burning them
Okay,
yet.
thank God.
If you burn it,
Alright.
it's gone forever. But if you spend it, it's just gone until the next session.
Okay. I'm gonna use it. Yeah.
All right, go ahead and make another roll. All right, a 31
Nice.
is good. That's what you needed. So this guy doesn't necessarily turn. He has to make a awareness test instead of just having a big bonus to see you. So he's going to make it a, going to make an awareness test, and he's going to have a penalty at it. I'm going to say it's a hard awareness check, as opposed to a awareness check with a high degree of success. Ooh, he just failed. Wow, you guys are so fucking lucky.
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
Literally,
Yeah.
he needed just a 10. And he got an 11. All right, cool. So he doesn't notice you guys. He's just leaning against the debris. He's looking down at the machinery. He's lighting up another cigarette. He doesn't know what the fuck is going on. The door is oiled. How does the group wish to interact with this? Actually, I'm going to begin combat, and I'm going to roll initiative for everybody. And I'll say, Helza, what do you
The
do?
hell?
Open the door for me.
I am not opening the door. I am ready. I'm looking at everybody else in this room, ready, like in the outside area. I'm taking stock of the people out here and getting ready to attack anybody who comes.
So you're staying
check
on the
us
lower
out.
level?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'll
This-
go and I'll use.
Well, I'll
my
say, well, hold on. So right now
skills
we're
and
kind of
set it
going in
up
like a
and-
light turn order.
Oh,
So Helza, you're sticking around. You're keeping an eye on things. What is Prometheus doing?
Just behind Helza, backing her up.
All right, so you go back downstairs and you're backing up Helza. What is Eidolon doing?
I will be the one to open the door gently.
All right, I'm gonna move over to you. All right, so Eidolon, you walk up and you spend your action. You pull the door open. Give me a stealth check, and this has no penalty because the door is oiled.
Real quick, can I say like I'm taking the Overwatch action?
Sure. And so Overwatch is nice. Basically, you create a specific thing and you perform a specific action when that trigger happens. And if that trigger doesn't happen, you get to act, but at the very end of the initiative. So what would be your Overwatch?
My Overwatch trigger is somebody notices the group, and I will, if any of these enemies move towards the group, I'm going to move up this ladder and protect. If anybody comes close, I'm gonna try to move as close as I can to that person.
Okay. Ooh, you got it. All right, so Eidolon, give me a stealth check, please. Oof, it's a -4. And that's a critical failure because it's a 99.
Oh, there goes my next fate point.
So
You got
this
one
one,
more, right?
you can right click and hit Fate Reroll Test if you wish to spend a fate point on it. A +2. All right. So this is opposed by their awareness. This is difficult for them because you can hear the sounds of grinding metal and screaming from the inside as they're performing some kind of strange operation on them. They got a -3, so they do not notice you. The door opens, even despite the slight sound that it makes, despite the oiling that has occurred on it. Callie, what do you do?
So, before I start, does anyone else have drilled as a talent?
I do not.
Okay, never mind. Anyways,
Just one person though.
Callie's gonna just, I guess, like stealthily walk in there and just shoot them.
All right, what does drill do?
Well, Deadeye and Drilled. Let me see. So I have and tactical movement. So let me see.
Oh, I see. So kill if you're on a kill team and somebody else has drilled, you get a bonus.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
just want to see that. But
And Deadeye, so
sneak in.
when you aim and make a range attack, you get +1 success level. Got it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go in there, aim, and just shoot this
All right.
person in the head.
So the way aiming works is aiming is an action. So you don't shoot until your next turn. And
You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna shoot them in the head.
All right, cool. So you go ahead and all right. So here's how combat works. You will target them, and you can do this by actually, Devin, how do you target another token as a player?
E maybe.
E or is it T?
T. I
The
think,
T
yeah.
T. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's
hover over the person you're attacking and hit T, and that should target them. Well, you don't want to target this. That's Leo. So this is
Kill
clearly a
Leo.
person with that is being operated. I should have described this for him. So this person, Blister, is currently trying to remove the metallic leg from this person, Blister, or Leo, who is like clinging to their chair and who's tied to their
You're
chair.
gonna give us that
and is
leg.
screaming in pain. You can see the metallic
want
leg is
that
like
leg.
kicking, and Blister is like, "Shut the fuck up! Give me your fucking leg, you motherfucker!"
Okay, aim and I'll just take a shot.
All right, so go ahead and with your silenced pistol, go ahead and make an attack roll. And I'll say, because they're unaware, you have advantage on the shot. So on that little menu, when you and so the way you attack is you go to the combat tab.
How do I do this?
Go to the combat tab, and you should see your auto pistol silenced is equipped there. Click on the auto pistol in the combat tab, and then select advantage, which should be towards the bottom. There should be like a little radio button that
And
appears above it.
what's the difficulty?
Just regular challenging.
Challenging.
Yep. All right. So you got a +1 to hit them. They don't get a chance to defend themselves. So this is an unopposed check, which means you hit them for 6 points of damage in the head. Or in the... Where did you hit them exactly? It should tell you.
I was
in
aiming...
the body. So the way it works is unless you're aiming specifically at a location, you hit a random location on their body when you shoot them. And it tells you what it hit. So you could see advantage body. Body is where your roll ended up being. I think it's determined by the second number in the roll. So you rolled a 49, a 9 is the body. So that character gets shot. They take 4 points of damage. You shoot them in the side of the back, and they stumble forward, and they yell. Oh wait, no, I forgot something. They do not yell because I'm pretty sure I read something like an attack against an opponent that doesn't know that's unaware of your presence is an automatic critical hit. So I need you to roll a D100 for me, and we're going to figure out what this critical hit is.
This is the scariest thing in this game. If
Is
you're
it?
getting critical hit.
Oh, a 70 is a good one. Okay. So a 70 critical wound. Where's the table? Where is it?
Oh, by the way, I shoot and I pull my arm back in the box and pretend like I'm still just a box.
Who's there?
Yes.
Critical wound. Body.
Don't
We'll be
worry,
hit like the
I'm just a
lung.
box.
Where is it?
Puncture her lungs so she can't scream.
The
Seems
sponsor
horrifying.
package?
Critical wounds. Critical hit. Sorry, guys. I'm also trying to figure all this stuff out. Criticals. Example.
Fine, no one's breathing down your neck. Take your time.
I have the physical book here, thanks to Bianca.
Oh, this is your fault, Bianca.
Yes. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
And also, I'm going to use, since it's a free action, I'm going to use the cover thing
Wait,
somehow
so you immediately take cover. Nice.
behind my box or in my box.
critical wound.
Over the Vox chat, I go and I ask Kali, what kind of box is that? Is that like an Amazon box? USPS? Is it an Apple box?
It's a milk carton.
So we could see you through the slits?
There we go.
Yeah.
No cover at all.
70.
I feel like in this world, Amazon would totally exist.
Come here.
Amazon distribution planets.
No, it's one of those food services.
What is this for?
It's a Whole Foods planet over there.
I think I need
The
to.
result of this world is because Amazon.
Critical wounds are grievous.
I gotta deal with Jeff Bezos.
He's the BBEG.
Critical hit.
So you roll when you make a crit after dealing damage. Make a critical hits. You make a severity roll by rolling 1d10.
Rolls 1d10 and consults the hit location table to determine the point of contact. So you hit the body. Criticals.
Oh, that's right.
critical,
Criticals are double, like double 1, double 2, double 3. I forgot that they're different for this game.
Critical hit. Yeah, because the roll is weird. It's like on an 18 plus, they get that. I'm just trying to figure out how this critical is rolled.
I think since you already got a crit, you roll an additional 1d10 and then check the critical wounds table.
But then I'm wondering how you get to the 18 plus.
Because you roll the 1d10 plus the
Damage?
damage.
Got it.
Yeah.
Where do you see that?
I'm in the reference sheet, and then criticals and wounds page.
Reference. Criticals and wounds. Critical hits. Then deal damage from the text. After dealing damage, make a severity roll by rolling 1d10 and attack deals a critical wound. Roll 1d10, determine hit location, then deal damage from the attack as normal. After dealing damage, make a severity roll by rolling 1d10 and consult the critical wounds table below. 1d10 plus excess damage. Okay, so there is no excess damage. So the way excess damage work is damage in excess of their maximum number of wounds. So this would just be a flat 1d10 roll. So basically, the way it works is you don't start taking really devastating critical wounds until your character is already at low wounds. Or you take an excessively large amount of damage, like you get shot with a fucking plasma cannon. You take 30 points of damage. All right, now it's a plus 30 critical wound check. So instead of rolling a 70, I'm going to say...
Should I roll again for 1d10?
Technically, you rolled a 10 on your 10s die. So I'm going to say you rolled a 10, which is a gaping wound. Actually, no, shattered ribs. So your attack shatters multiple ribs, leaving shards of bone peppered throughout their flesh. They have a disadvantage on physical tests, and their move is reduced to 2 steps to a minimum of slow. They also suffer a broken bone major, and they fall flat on the ground prone.
Yay!
And so they cry out in pain, "Ah, my bones!" And then they are on the ground. I'm going to see how I can add this wound to them. Alright. They have the wound. We'll just remember that. But they took the damage. And so you shot them in the side. I apologize for how long that took. But, yeah. So you critically fucking shot them in the back. And they fall forward, clutching the buzzsaw that falls from their hands as they clatter to the ground. Leo, he looks shocked, and he's just like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And that's Callie's turn. Her screams are going to draw some attention. So this guy, he's not actually acting, but he hears the screams, and he looks over at the group of you and says, "What the fuck is that? Hey, hey you!" And that's when everybody else's attention is drawn to you as well. Calamus, what do you do?
Oh, me?
Yep.
Okay. This guy just yelled.
Yes.
Is there any kind of railing here?
Yep.
Like,
So
we're on the
there's a-
higher level.
Yeah. So there's like a railing here. It provides you light cover from people shooting up into it. Otherwise, if you're both in this area, unless you're behind something, like over here, for example, versus from here, you don't get any cover.
Okay. Cass is gonna look at this situation. This guy just yelled. He's on the same level as us, so situation changed. He's gonna try to get some cover behind, I guess, a railing here. Can I get like behind here actually?
Sure.
Like there?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just take a shot at this guy over here.
All right, go for it.
Cover blown. And laser pistol.
Go ahead and target that guy. Shoot him with your laser pistol. It's either laser or las. I think it's las. Based on the
Laser.
video games.
Laser pistol. Last pistol. Normal shot at this dude. Do I do the +2 superiority?
Yes, if you wish.
Okay. I'm not losing anything by doing it, right?
Nope. In fact, I don't know
Bam.
why this thing doesn't have 2 points of superiority already.
That's a miss.
With the 2 points of superiority, that becomes a +1.
I think I applied it.
Oh, you already applied it. Gotcha. Okay. I see.
It was a
Oh
checkbox
yeah,
for it.
it says superiority right here. Cool. Do you want to use a fate point to reroll that?
Sure. Let's do that. Let me right click. Fate reroll test. +2.
All right. Were you targeting this guy?
Sorry.
It's okay. I think I can. Fix
No.
that.
I am targeting him actually.
I don't know why it wasn't opposed.
Maybe because I re-rolled it.
No, shouldn't be. Let me see. Hold on, let's see. Add targets. Add targets. Oh. This is you, right? You're orange. You and JR are both kind of orange.
Yeah, I'm orange.
Add
Oh,
targets.
I see.
I don't know why that's not working. Okay, that's fine. So I will. He's aware of your presence, so he has to make a check to try to dodge out of the way. I think it's just a. He doesn't have the skill on his sheets. Oh, he does. Dexterity. So he makes a dexterity dodge check to try to get away. So the way it works in combat here is that, unlike in Warhammer, everybody gets one reaction. Reactions generally don't have many ways to be used. One of them is that you can dodge a ranged attack against you that you are aware of. A little bit different from Warhammer. The other way that you can use it is if you're a psyker, you can use it to deny the witch, which lets you basically try to counterspell. You get infinite counterspells, but you only get one reaction per turn. He's going to use his to try to dodge out of the way. It makes a challenging
He's
check.
got to beat my +2, right?
Yep. He gets a -3. Now, dodging doesn't ever make you take more damage. So even if you roll the negative 1,000,000, he doesn't add 1,000,000 damage to your roll. He just fails to dodge out of the way. Your las pistol shoots forward. And what's the... Really quickly?
I don't see any damage on it at all.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it was all wonky. I wonder if you... Did you roll it from the combat tab or the equipment tab?
On the combat tab, it says damage 5. It's just a
Damage
flat 5.
So 5 plus 2 is 7 points of damage. You hit him in the body. So he takes 5 points of damage to the body. And let me see his main tab. Doesn't look like he has... He has heavy leather armor, which means he
On the body?
has
Oh, yeah.
2 points of armor. Toughness is 4, so that's 6. So he takes 1 point of damage.
Right.
All right. So you shoot him, you wing him. He kind of gets behind cover just in time from taking the maximum brunt of the damage that you deal. But you moved a little bit. You used your action, so that's your turn.
Do I have any kind of benefit of cover where I am?
Only if you take cover as an action. So
Okay.
So right now it's sort of like you're standing kind of like out in the open taking shots, not actively behind anything that would provide you cover.
So this spot and like over here would be essentially the same spot.
Basically, yeah, you're just in the general zone here.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I'll stay here then, just because it's exactly the same.
you got it.
I want to get eyes on the area down here in case Helza goes and does something crazy, which I'm assuming is going to happen.
All right, so Helza, you can see that some attention is sort of like in your direction. They also heard the las gun fire out, and las guns are loud, and so everybody can hear that. And so you can see that some of the attention, or you can, from your current vantage point, see a couple people walking towards you, and you can hear the sounds of footsteps and people yelling in your direction. What do you do?
Yeah, with battles starting, can I? How do I link? How do I link a talent?
I think.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm going. Gonna rev my my chainsword
Sick.
and
All right.
go in frenzy.
Go ahead and click apply frenzy. Let's see what that does.
That's got to scare the shit out of people. Heretics.
I'm clicking it. It doesn't do anything.
I can click it and it opens up a dialogue window. You don't get that?
Do I have somebody? Do I have to target myself?
I don't think so. Maybe it's a thing I have to press, but I'll click it for now. You wish to reroll
Oh
that?
no. Yeah.
All right, I'll fate reroll that for you. Can I do that? Oh, why don't you try fate rerolling it? Oh wait, Ganger
Really?
4. You're not a Ganger.
Yeah, I'm
What
not
is
ganger.
going on here? That's silly. Okay, how about this?
Let me see if I can click it now that I've. Oh yeah, I can do it now that I've targeted myself. I have
Gotcha.
to target myself. And
Go for it.
Okay.
No worry about rerolls.
Okay. Challenging. Nothing normal.
+2. That's good
Yeah.
enough. All right, so are you? Let me check if you're frenzied. Temporary effects, frenzy, sick. All right, you are currently frenzied. You work yourself
Okay,
into a frothing battle rage as a free action. Blah blah blah. Your strength bonus increases by 1. You're immune to being frightened. You must attempt to engage the nearest enemy in melee combat. That whole thing was a free action to do.
Yeah. So the near. Is
Who's the
anybody
nearest? Up here, I guess.
up here or down? These guys.
So this guy you
Kind
wouldn't
of.
be able to get to because you'd have to move and then run to get over to here. But these guys, I'll say, are in the same zone as you. So if you wish to rush forward, you could definitely clobber one of these guys with your sword.
Yes, I am charging with my rev chainsword out at
All right.
this guy.
All right.
Cass will look down this and go, frustration. Helza will need repairs.
You rush forward, screaming for the name of the Emperor, and go ahead and make your chainsword attack at this guy. If you like, in combat, I believe you can click the charge button if you would like to charge.
Yeah, I was gonna. Would I be able to charge the guy up top?
Yeah, actually, yeah, good. Yeah, sure, because you get to move, and then you get to move again because you're charging. So if you'd wish to do that, that's totally fine.
Yeah, that's where the action is, and I want to get into the action. I heard
right.
firing up there.
You got it. So you clamber up the fucking side of the ladder, and you start screaming for the Emperor, and then you rush forward, chainsaw in hand, and you chop at this guy. So go ahead and target this guy, and swing your chainsword at him. All right. So he does get a chance to try to avoid this, and he's going to attempt to do so with a let's see, what gun does he have equipped? He has his auto gun equipped. So he's going to just attempt to dodge out of the way.
Can do that twice. You get one reaction per turn. Or two per turn.
So reactions against melee attacks aren't reactions. You just do it. You only
It's like
get
an
to
opposed
use,
thing.
Yeah, it's just opposed. To dodge out of the way of a gun, you have to use your reaction. So he tries to do so. He gets a -2, which means you increase your damage by 3 for 10 total damage to this guy.
Is this including the superiority?
That was not. Do you want to include your superiority as well?
Yeah, the attack.
All right. For some reason, it's not. I'm sure I'm doing something wrong that it's not
No,
maintaining.
there's an option when you roll yourself. You have to click superiority.
So he is up to 11 wounds. So he only has 2 wounds left before he starts taking critical hits. So you rev your chainsaw and it bites deep into his body. And that is your turn, I believe.
It's also there's the rending.
How does rend work?
We're gonna have to find that again, but I will link it when I do.
Looks like it reduces armor by 2. So it sounds like you did 7 damage with the chainsword, plus 5, which was 12. His toughness
You shredded
is
2 armor.
His toughness is 4. That reduces it to 8. You got rid of his armor entirely because he only has 1 point of armor, but you don't reduce his toughness. So he did take 8 points of damage in total, though.
Cool.
He is where he is currently. All right, Prometheus, it is your turn.
Yeah, Prometheus is gonna follow Sister.
All right,
And
spend your move to get up here.
and he sees the commotion. Is there any way I could use my telekinesis to maybe there's like some loose, this is a chop shop, right? So maybe there's like some loose tools where I could possibly like fling at the enemy.
So to move items would typically be another psychic power, but maybe that's how you manifest your smite ability, which is like you use psychic power to blast somebody. But maybe your smite in this case is you use your psychic power to grab a tool or something off the shelf and hurl it at somebody's head at incredible speed.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds right.
Cool. So who are you trying to smite?
So the other person that is not, well, actually, the person who took damage. Yeah.
There's 2 of them. You got Blister, and then you got this guy over here. This is the one that's almost dead.
Yeah, let's go for that one then.
Okay, cool. So go ahead and target that one, and then click Smite.
Okay.
All right, you got a +0.
Oh,
You got a marginal success. A +0 is all you need to succeed. You gain 2 warp charges. Now, I don't actually know the rules for casting spells, so let's really quickly go over those.
I know I'm really, my bad for being quiet, but I'm just trying to learn like all the psychic skills.
If it's anything like Warhammer Fantasy, it's complicated.
It's manifesting psychic powers. You choose a psychic power and a target.
It's crazy.
The power details the difficulty of the psychic test. Make a psychic mastery test against the difficulty of the psychic power using the relevant specialization. Okay. You gain warp charge equal to the warp rating of the psychic power. If you fail, you gain an additional warp charge for every negative success level. If you succeed on the test, you apply the power's effects. Sounds like you did it. So warp charge sounds like something that you accumulate over time, and I think you have to like purge yourself of it, because if you get too much of it, you suffer some kind of penalty. So it like builds up and up and up as you continue casting spells, but if you build up too much of it, your head might explode or something like that.
Wow.
So you cast your smite, it hits them. They can't dodge out of the way because they've already tried to dodge this turn, so it's unopposed. Okay, click unopposed. So they take another 6 points of damage, which is a +4 critical hit. Sliced artery. They suffer a serious wound to a major artery.
Ooh.
So why don't you describe what happens here?
Yeah, sure. So Prometheus sees a couple of blade saws, maybe like stacked somewhere on the side, pretty much lifts it up and aims for the artery in the neck, and kind of just you just see the blade
That's sick.
swipe by, and it just you see blood gushing out, spurting out.
Right. Sister Helza was already covered in blood by the attack from her chain sword, but the severed artery sends a samurai movie gush of blood all over Sister Helza as the body drops to the ground lifeless. He is dead.
That's what I'm talking about.
So that's Prometheus's turn. Ganger number 3 gets to go. Ganger number 3, where's Ganger? Okay. It's this one over here. She's going to... she hears all the commotion that's going on over here. And there's a bit of cover between her and you. So I'm going to say, because there's this extra wall in the way, she's going to have a penalty shooting at you. She's going to take aim with her auto gun. She's going to try to shoot at you.
You who?
Cass.
You me.
So I'll say because of all this interfering in terrain, it's going to be a difficult check. Actually, no.
Miss.
She would be at disadvantage. That's what that is. Right? Despite disadvantage, she got a +2 to her attack. You can spend your reaction to try to dodge. I believe if you click the dodge roll on this little popped up pose test, it should roll dodge against it.
I have a dodge option, a unopposed option, and a las pistol option. What the hell is a las pistol option?
I think that's like if you're defending yourself in melee, you can parry with your pistol.
That makes sense. I will use the dodge option.
Right.
And this is a difficulty challenging. I'll add the superiority, I think, because we're...
Yep, you can add your... No, because it's not your turn, so you can't add superiority to it.
Okay. But it is still a challenging roll?
Yes.
Okay. +2.
All right. So you got a +2. She got a +2. That means she hits you, because you have to roll more than her, not match her.
But I did reduce it down by 2, right?
Yep, you sure did. So instead of taking 8 damage, you take 6 points of damage, which gets further reduced. I'm not sure how much you took in total.
I just take 1 damage, so I have 1 armor and 4 toughness.
I think that was the damage. That was the applied damage, sorry. So 5 wounds were protected on your body in total. So you took 6 damage and 5 damage in total. Yeah.
So the gun did 10 damage?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
All right, cool. So that's their turn. Ganger number 2, which is this one over here. He's going to move and run over here. And that's his turn. Ganger number 1 is going to move and it's going to run over here. Ganger number 4 is dead. Boop. And Ganger number 5 is back over here. They're going to move, and they're going to also do the same thing that the other person did, only to Prometheus. They're firing their auto gun up at Prometheus, and they're going to fire rapid fire. So they go full auto, blasting out every bullet in their magazine to do this. And they fail to hit. So there's a spray of bullets over in the general area where both Cass and Prometheus are. But the cover from the railing in front of you, as well as some of the interspersed, or the terrain between the group of you, protects you from damage. So that's their turn. Eidolon, what do you do?
I think I'll go and I will go inside after Blister.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see that Blister hits the floor, I would assume like she's like facing Leo, like facing this way.
Mm-hmm.
And so without her seeing who I am, I'm going to grab her by her chin and expose her neck and use my knife to slit her throat open.
Hell yeah.
All right, so she's going to try to defend herself against this. So I need you to make an attack roll with your knife. And on that dialogue window, I think there's going to be like a target location. You can click head on that. And I'll give you get your superiority, which is +2. So you can add +2 to the success levels at the end of this. Don't do it just yet. But go ahead and make your attack roll. And they're prone, so I think you make this roll with advantage.
Okay. And it gets added at the end.
Yes.
Okay.
Or we'll add it in post. Okay, so you got a -2, which turns into a +2 with the superiority, and so that succeeds as a called shot to the head. They can't defend themselves, so you slice their throat open, and before they even have a chance to say anything, blood spills out over your feet as they crumple to the ground. You can hear the sounds of mechanical whirring as the augmetics on their face seek purchase, and she flops to her side, a pool of blood, almost like a rug, a carpet on the floor, forms a near perfect circle. Leo looks at you and says, "Would you mind getting the bindings off me, please?" And Eidolon, that's your turn for now. Callie. Oh, you killed the leader, so you guys get another point of superiority.
Nice.
Callie, what do you do?
So the leader's dead, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna go over here. And I have long range I have Deadeye, and I have also like a +2 to my long range long gun, so I think I should be able to reach these other guys, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
So I'll take some shots at them.
Very cool.
Let me see which one I want to do.
You got this one here. You got this one. I would say this one is probably for you out in the open.
Yeah, I might just rapid fire this one to kill this one right now.
Sure. All right, so go ahead and target them by hitting, hovering over them and hitting T. Go ahead and make your attack roll with your las gun. You can select burst because your las guns don't have rapid fire, but they do have burst. And bursting is a thing that weapons can do. It gives you a bonus to your attack roll, basically, but it costs you ammo, which who cares? And in the SL, you can go ahead and click the superiority box if you wish.
I'm trying to find.
What are you looking for? God damn, you have 4 armor in every slot.
Jesus.
Okay.
And they get behind you.
Okay, so it is. You said, how do I do that fire? How do you do that?
So in the dialogue window for Lasgun, the very first thing you're going to do, you want to use your superiority for this. So click the box next to plus superiority. Let me know when you have that.
Okay.
Checked.
Yep. Got
Next, you should see burst as one of the options below damage.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Go ahead and click burst and then hit roll. All right. So you got a -2 on your check, which means you're going to miss. Would you like to re-roll this?
Yep.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong roll. You got a +10.
Okay, that's good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
This person is not going to have a good chance of dodging this. They will try. They roll to dodge. They roll to dodge. Is it even letting me? How can I dodge? All right. I'm sure I'm doing.
She's resigned to the
something
fate.
wrong.
She's just standing there. I'm not
I
moving.
got an astounding success towards her left leg.
Dodge.
We start slow clapping for Callie.
Skills. Main. Skills. Dexterity. All right, she got a +4, which is really good, but it doesn't beat a +10. You deal 12 points to her body.
Jeez, +10.
And so you nearly kill her as you fire this burst of las shots in succession.
And then, since I have a free action, I will, I guess, cover again.
You're taking cover? You got it. You get to take cover for free. Cass, what do you do?
Okay. The cavalry's here, so Cass is going to try to remove himself from danger because he's the only one who's been hurt so far. And he'll head in here.
Okay.
And he'll look at himself and go, wound analysis. 15 grams of flesh lost. Conclusion, acceptable. And he'll try to do a whatever this is check on himself to heal himself. So it just says you can heal wounds. I don't know what that means. So using the kit to treat a wound or an injury or to remove a poison condition, unless otherwise stated, is a difficulty test of challenging. So do I just use the kit?
Sure.
Okay. I will make a challenging heal roll. I'm a humanoid. So I can do it like this, I think. And does this count towards superiority?
Yeah. You get to use superiority whenever you want. Or on any check you want.
Okay.
Which is
I roll
great,
pretty
because
high.
you would have failed.
Yeah.
You got a +2, so you heal yourself. How much do you heal yourself by? Do you know?
I do not know. Maybe 2.
Looks like it's required to treat critical wounds. So I don't
Yeah, but
think
there's
you-
also a rider on there that says you can use it to just treat a wound or injury. I'm not sure if that means you can heal your wounds or if that means you need to. I don't know.
I don't know. That's weird. You know what? Let's say for now, yes. But until otherwise, I'm pretty sure all it does is treat critical wounds. It doesn't heal damage.
There's definitely a thing in here about treating wounds, and that wound treating is a challenging test. So,
But
I don't know if
that's
it's a wording thing.
That's
Go
just the Medicae, isn't it? Like this is you would use this kit when you need to treat the critical wounds or injuries, and you
Oh,
would
so
just
maybe I don't even need this kit. So the kit is what enables me to do like the amputation stuff, but without that, I'm still good at medical stuff.
I do think that from what I remember reading, but I could be wrong for sure.
Let's see. Skills and talents. Medicae.
Yeah, I just generally don't know. The kit says like explicitly you can use a I can't even say this word, chirogen's kit to perform surgery.
Surgeon. I don't know. Let's say for now, sure. Yeah, you heal yourself. And until I find otherwise, that's how it works. I'm pretty sure it doesn't, but until then, you do. You heal yourself of...
Or 2, I guess.
I'll say, yeah, you heal yourself for 2 wounds.
Okay.
And that's your action.
Yeah,
Helza.
I'll be in the room, back up, and then heal myself.
Can I charge even though I'm in the same zone?
No. So when you charge, you only charge people that are outside of your current zone. So for this, you don't even use a move action. You just attack them basically.
Okay. I would think that Helza. I would like to use the talent Faithful. Being these are infractionists, right? So they've separated themselves from the Imperium. They're like not working for the Imperium.
Sure.
If you are not working for the Imperium, you are working against the Emperor. And I would like to not charge this guy, but attack this guy using Faithful.
That sounds reasonable to me. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Okay. Yeah, click that. And I will use superiority. Is where on this?
It should be towards the top.
There should be like a checkbox in the pop-up at the top.
Like SL is there's a box and there's a checkbox.
Oh, plus yeah, okay. Yep.
And then also under dialogue modifiers, you can hit.
Oh, nice.
You can click making a test related to your faith.
That's weird though, because you got a +1 and a 15 versus 55 should be like a +7.
Well, because I used the
Superiority.
superiority and the making a roll related to your faith.
All right. This guy's going to try to... Let's see. Is he better at dodging or is he better at parrying? He's better at dodging. So he's going to try to dodge. For some reason, they just don't want to dodge. So I'll just do it through the skills. Dexterity. Okay. You got a +1. It was great. Not enough to stop you, though. You deal 17 points of damage to him, which instantly critically hits him. You mangle his foot. Tell me how you obliterate this guy.
I mean, I mangle the foot because that's the only thing that is left of him after the chainsaw cleaves through his body.
Nice.
The only thing that's left. So you cut him from the foot. The rest of his body tumbles down to the ground below, slamming into the metal that's already rusted, and he falls through into the level below. His body disappears in the refuse and debris, leaving just the bleeding foot behind. He is super dead. That's your action. Prometheus.
Who's left?
There's one guy here, and I gotta tell you, they're probably gonna flee at this point, but I have to roll to see if they do. And I roll on their turn, so you get to do whatever you want to them in the meantime. There's a guy down here that was injured by Callie's rifle. There's a guy over here that's probably gonna try to run away as quickly as possible. And there's a person all the way over here.
Yeah, I think Prometheus would be cool with that. I think maybe Prometheus could be a little intimidating and maybe send a message to their minds saying.
Yeah. Well, remember, you have to use the... You only have access to the powers that your character has.
Okay, in that case, I'm just gonna follow up with sister and make sure she's okay.
Okay. Are you... So you're just walking over to sister? I mean, sister is right next to an enemy. So if you wanted to, like, throw some stuff at that guy or smite him or shoot him with your pistol or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just take a shot with my pistol if that's okay.
Okay, cool. Yep. So make sure that your pistol is equipped. You go to your equipment, click the right hand on the pistol, and then in the combat tab, make sure they're targeted, and then attack them with your pistol.
Where's the enemy?
Enemy is right here. Oof, that's a 9. That's a -7. Do you want to try to re-roll that?
Yeah.
All right. Go
I
ahead
can
and
use
right-click it and hit Fate re-roll test.
Cool.
A +1. That's gonna hit. For whatever reason, the little window for them to try to dodge didn't pop up. Maybe because they already dodged. No, this person didn't already try to dodge, so they will try. Skills, dexterity. They got a +4. They do manage to dodge out of the way. So, Prometheus, you pull out your pistol. You see what Sister Hells is going on over here. So you begin firing. Your last pistol fires out in their direction. They leap in this direction to get away from you and remove that immediate line of sight. That is your turn. You could choose to move into this zone if you like, or move into another zone.
Yeah, I'll move a bit closer.
Sure. Let's go ahead and move yourself where you would like to go. And then we'll say you're in this zone. The top of the order is Leo. Leo is just looking over at Eidolon, and he's like fidgeting against the bindings that are keeping him tied to this rusty steel chair. And he's like, you have no idea how much I appreciate this. If you wouldn't mind. And he looks over at Eidolon, waiting for some kind of response. Ganger number 3 is going to go. he has to make a test to see if he runs away. That is going to be a resolve test. He's got a 1, so I think he has to make a willpower test. Okay. Why can I not make tests? How about a skill? There's some kind of skill associated with this. I think presence. Presence? Nope. Can't click anything. Wow. Crazy.
If you target one of us, can you make like it might roll as like a pose, but does it just happen?
I'm wondering if it's because I'm targeting somebody else. If that's the thing, I would need to get rid of that. It's crazy. Willpower. I just can't roll anything on this character. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll D100. No problem. A 6. Wow. Amazing. They're
Pretty good.
So they're going to move. Actually, yeah, they're gonna continue sort of like moving forward, and they need to reload their gun. So they're going to spend their turn reloading, and that's their turn.
How are they moving with a missing leg?
This person isn't missing a leg.
Oh,
They were in a romantic relationship with Blister, and they're angry. They want revenge. They're not gonna run away.
I thought that was the one that shot. Never.
Right, this guy over here, he can roll. So he's gonna roll. He got a -2. He's out. He's fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore. And he immediately turns tail and he leaves, making his way to the exit. And he is, for all intents and purposes, dead. We're out of that. Finger number 5 over here. He also has to make a willpower test. A -6. He's gone. Not even fucking looking back. He's going to immediately make his way through the walkways. And he's far enough away that he is essentially out of the combat. And at this point, there's like the one lone ganger. I'm going to say, you guys, they surrender. But they don't manage to get away and flee in time.
Well, we can't let them know what her face looks like. So
Yeah, so,
Callie just shoots them in the head.
Their head explodes, and they are most certainly dead. So I did promise Bianca to try to keep these sessions to 10:30, no later, and I realize we're already at 10:42. So why don't we basically call it there, and then we could pick up from where this leaves off. You guys have rescued Leo. You managed to defeat the gangers. You killed Blister. I'll give you guys Blister's equipment and stuff like that, as well as all the other stuff you find. And I'll also give you guys experience for defeating that encounter. But overall, did you guys enjoy that? Were there things that you wish we could have made different? Any feedback at all? Let me know.
I don't know what it is, but I like Warhammer.
I fucking love this. This was
I love
great.
Warhammer.
I can't put my
Both-
finger on it exactly, but
Yeah.
I love the fact that I could solid snake my way all the way up and shoot this person in the head. That was very funny.
I think
It
I
was
might have
very
misplayed
funny.
that. I feel like I read a rule that if you shoot someone like from stealth, I know they get a critical hit, but I think they get something else as well. But I'll double check that for you. I think maybe if you aim and shoot or something like that, like you could just immediately kill them.
also I did find this, John, about the healing rules. It looks like I can heal people, but in combat it's a challenging role, and it's the SL plus my intelligence bonus, and I can do it once per day per person, one
per day
time.
per person. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. JR, were you going to say something?
If I was, I don't remember what it was.
But yeah, I gotta figure out the jankiness of the system. There's some weird shit going on with this.
I'll say, like, as a player, the systems seem pretty good.
There's something I like about the numbers in this too, where it's just like 13 damage is an incredible amount of damage. It's not
I took
like
5 damage, and I was like, oh god.
You don't do 22 damage to something that has 137 points.
Like
I
was kind of discussing this with Bianca, but like I think I have a problem with 5th edition as a system where it's like a lot of combat for combat's sake, and then the combats are kind of
Yeah.
drawn out to make it challenging. And if
Yeah.
you remove that, then you remove the bulk of what makes the system special in its own way. Whereas in this, just like in Warhammer Fantasy, it feels very organic. Like you kill a guy in 2 hits, generally speaking. But that means you die in 2 hits too.
Exactly. And the reverse is like I have 1 armor, so like that guy with the pistol hit me for 10. It's like I can reduce. I have a pretty good toughness and like, but 1 armor, so it's like 5 damage for a 10 like hit, and that's
Yeah,
like I have
exactly.
14 health. So if I get focused in 1 turn, it's like you could just die.
And then conversely, the warrior in the group has basically they reduce all damage they take by 8 because they have 4 points of armor in all locations and a 4 toughness.
It's so good.
So
Like I said, I gotta hide behind Steven's
Oh,
character.
that's me.
that's you. You're literally a tank. And that
Nice.
gets better too. Like your character starts off with flak armor, which is like military grade armor. And that's what you get. You're a fucking warrior. You don't have a lot of incredible skills, but you could fuck somebody up and you can not get fucked up.
Yeah, this is a fun character to play because, yeah.
And yeah, obviously we'll iron out some of like the nitty gritty details. I'll keep looking at the rules, but yeah, I'll end it there because I know some of you are probably getting a little eepy, and I'm getting eepy. I want to go to bed,
Oh, eepy.
so I'm gonna end the recording now.